Okay, everybody, how's it going? How's everybody doing tonight? It is Tuesday, January 12th, 1:30 a.m. Eastern, approaching German market open at 2 a.m. Eastern, which we call pre-London hours. We are just going to be doing some higher time frame to intraday to scalp analysis across gold, GJ, Euro USD, US30, GBP USD, as well as USD CAD. We're also going to be taking a look at investor behavior as we analyze global equity markets, as well as some of our safe haven currencies, taking a look at any economic data reports we may have, as well as any reactive economic headlines that may be impacting the markets through the night. For those of you who are new, you can see that to the left of your screen, hopefully, let's just do a sound and visual check. To the left of your screen, you should see the live news, breaking news headlines. These are up to the minute streaming headlines that we'll see throughout the night. So if there's anything, for example, regarding the debate over the Brexit deal, if there's anything regarding more vaccine talks, anything that can bring either optimism or fear, we'll be able to see that to the left and potentially digest and adapt to it. And you should also be able to see gold on your screen here. It's just on the 1 minute chart, but I will be zooming out, doing the analysis, and then zooming down the time frames. So everything good visually, audio wise, before we actually start jumping into the analysis. YouTube chat, Zoom chat, all good. Okay. Okay, so before we jump into it, here are just some stream reminders on the screen about how the stream works. It is more just overall market analysis and pre-planning trade ideas that can potentially run through London session as well as the following New York session as well. Um, it's not signals, it's not direct financial advice, so don't just come asking for signals. If you want to share analysis, if you want to send a chart, if you want to ask questions about the various pairs, commodities, currencies that we are looking at, by all means go ahead. Anything regarding wanting to contact me, it's shared as well. There's tons of free resources offered by Capital Hungry, one being these live streams, another being all of the webinars on the Capital Hungry YouTube itself, the Capital Hungry Twitter, and the Telegram analysis chat. So please make sure that, yes, Capital Hungry private channel is now open for signups, but make sure you do your due diligence and check out all of the Capital Hungry free resources as well. Like, for example, I just uploaded like a full GJ fundamental and technical analysis today. There was a gold analysis uploaded 5 days ago, a full breakdown from the higher time frames from the yearly chart all the way to the intraday charts, like on the hourly. You have all of these past live stream recordings. You have all of these, if you come here, you have all of these other older webinars as well, where it's not even loading right now. Let me come in. See all of these past webinars on different technical topics, psychological topics, fundamental topics as well. The Capital Hungry Twitter, which posts a lot of news headlines throughout the day, even when we're not streaming. It's not as active as the news terminal you see to the left, but it's still a very great free resource for following economic news headlines throughout the day or night. It's so efficient now that it's already pumped out like 5,000 tweets in the short time that it's been active. And a lot of the websites that retail trader use, such as Forex Factory, they have even been sourcing a lot of headlines from the Capital Hungry Twitter and like posting the Capital Hungry Twitter. And then you also have the Capital Hungry free Telegram analysis channel where like I'll post reminders about when this stream is. I'll send some chart updates, any important news headlines, send up any of the when I'm uploading webinars or information regarding that. So you have a ton of free resources. If you want, after you've gone through some of the Capital Hungry content, and if you want more, then you can come join the Capital Hungry private service. But that is all again up to you. Just make sure you do your due diligence and understand what you're getting yourself into. But okay, so now that we got some of the stream reminders out of the way, yes, we're going to be doing technical and fundamental analysis, looking for potential scalp trades and intraday trades. And of course, our goal is to make money. But as traders, and it's very easy to overlook this and get lost in the sauce, a lot of us forget our number one rule, which is surviving in the markets and protecting capital. Okay? So make sure you continue to stay smart and sharp and vigilant. You follow your trading plan. You try to stay as emotionally neutral as possible. You focus on the long term vision, not short term satisfaction or short term impulsive emotions. This isn't a casino where you're just trying to make some money, click on a slot machine, right? And we follow a strict risk management principle and make sure we aren't over trading, we aren't over leveraging, and everything else. So, for some recent key fundamental points, for those of you who do not know, yesterday, for those of you who do not know overall, Brexit has finally started to see some type of resolution, which has kept some optimism and kept a bullish bias on GJ, right? We've seen that GBP against other safe haven currencies such as the US dollar or Japanese yen has been primarily bullish, especially even when we've had all of the negativity from the UK lockdown, from the new COVID variant in the UK, not being enough to shake buyers out of GBP pairs, primarily GBP USD and GBP JPY. But the EU debate over the Brexit deal has started yesterday. Okay, so one thing we want to be aware of. Sorry, didn't start yesterday. Started yesterday now, like during New York session, January 11th. Okay, so one thing we want to be aware of is any volatility that can come from uncertainty regarding this debate. Okay, this can cause some intraday whipsaws on GJ. So we want to watch the headlines to the left of the screen accordingly as well throughout the night to see if we have any talks from like the European Union or anything else regarding that nature regarding the Brexit deal. And if there's any negativity saying it's still not going to work, etc., then we're obviously that could give a deeper pullback on GJ and cause some short-term negativity on GBP pairs. Our big boy, Big Donnie, the market mover, has lost his power and he's been banned from social media. But the real focus is a lot of the uncertainty and political unrest that is developing in the US. It hasn't had a negative impact on investor confidence or sentiment, as we've still seen that the global stock markets have been extremely bullish, but it is something we have to watch unfold. We're seeing a ton of continued headlines regarding vaccine distribution and rollout, which is keeping markets and investors fairly confident towards signs of economic rebound. There are a lot of new variants we're starting to see across the world, like especially that has started in the UK, but it's not having any negative impact on the market so far. As per economic events, there is not any economic data that's going to be impacting euro or GBP that's pre-planned throughout the night. We have some economic data through New York session, but primarily we're going to be observing price action, market structure, and any reactive headlines to the left. We do not have any pre-planned data throughout the night that you guys can see on your screen there. Okay? Before we start jumping into our analysis, when we're looking at the global stock markets, which really tells us a lot about investor confidence, optimism, or fear, and alongside our safe haven currencies, which we're going to look at, we can see that it is still extremely bullish across the board, and that global greed train and optimistic sentiment is still holding strong. When you see that investors globally are extremely optimistic and confident, and the equity markets are bullish, there's a higher probability that there's going to be less money going into the safe haven currencies and the safe haven precious metals. That is one of the reasons why, to start the year, gold had that quick liquidity grab to the upside, and then that very, very strong sell off with a lot of the market optimism still holding strong, and the US dollar getting a bounce from its 6 year lows as well. But what we just want to identify is even if the equity markets are seeing some exhaustion, respectively, in each region, the stock markets have hit all-time highs. Okay, so it's something you just want to keep in mind, that the market optimism is still holding strong. When we come to look at our safe haven currencies, yes, the US dollar is having a bit of a cat bounce from its 6-year low point, but it's still extremely bearish on the higher time frames. The Japanese yen is bearish, as well as the volatility index, which shows us primarily more market fear or optimism based on US stock market data, is also bearish. So when our safe haven currencies like the US dollar, the Japanese yen, the Swiss franc are bearish, the volatility index is bearish, global equity markets are bullish, this shows us that markets are more optimistic. So we want to understand that short-term sentiment and just keep it in the back of our head as we start to do some intraday and scalp analysis on main pairs here. So let's just start off on gold and go to the daily chart and clear the chart up here and look at the structure, okay? This was just to start the year, and you can see gold buyers peaked up to retest previous highs and failed to break that exact same price point, where at the same time we had market optimism come into the scene and short-term US dollar strength. We had this impulsive sell-off. This impulsive sell-off was not enough to retest previous lows created by gold, and we're starting to create an intraday support at the 1825 handle, as well as some higher time frame bullish market structure, as you can see here. Okay. Also, if you guys have watched the gold full breakdown and analysis, there's a lot of potential that after gold peaked these all-time highs, it was going to have some historical repetition of what happened after the 2008 financial crash. So I talk about this 100 times, but historical repetition is very key in the markets, and it can really help you create a macro bias and then understand the market conditions you are trading. So 2008 financial crash led to a lot of uncertainty in the global markets. Safe havens like gold rocketed as global interest rates were getting cut, and there's that economic uncertainty. As gold peaked all-time highs, you could see for an extended period of months, it entered this consolidation range, where then after economy started to rebound, gold lost its safe haven appeal and buyers exited out positions, but overall still bullish, right? Then we had this consolidation phase, and once Trump got elected, we had the U.S.-China trade war. We had all the nonsense between the oil war between Iran sanctions, Saudi oil price war. We had the pandemic markets. We almost had the world war start off at the start of the 2020 period. We had gold heavily inflate as again U.S. interest rates were extremely low. There was massive uncertainty in the markets, and we peaked new all-time highs. Now you can see that there's a lot of potential for historical repetition of gold to play in this higher time frame macro range for an extended period of time. So don't be surprised if gold ranges from like 1800 to the 2K mark for months before having its next either impulsive move to the upside, if we have a new COVID-23 that leads to global lockdowns, or if we start to enter signs of economic recovery, then we're going to see a macro downside corrective move like we saw after the 2008 financial crash. But what I just want to point out is there's a lot of potential for gold to play in this higher time frame range. So once you understand that, you just want to start zooming down the time frames and playing some of the intraday market structure and price action. So what I wanted to look at here when we come to the 4-hour chart is we had this low created by sellers where they exited positions at 1760, and then gold started to enter this bullish market structure where to start the year we retested those previous highs. You can see even with this impulsive sell-off here, we did not go to retest previous lows or break below previous price sensitivity areas, and now we're starting to create some higher time frame bullish market structure. Okay, so understanding this, now we want to zoom in the time frames even further alongside some of our historical key levels. And you can see, now let me clean this up here a bit. And I'll show you guys with the key levels after. Okay, you can see that gold was respecting this intraday bullish market structure for an extended period of weeks until we peaked these highs and then finally broke below market structure and retested. We had this aggressive dip to retest this previous price sensitivity area to the left, but failed to break below 1820, which is also a higher time frame historical key level. Okay, on the higher, yes, on the intradays we broke this bullish structure, but on the higher time frames, on the weekly and daily, we still failed to break or retest those previous low points. And now you can see that we are creating a technical support at this 1830 handle. Okay, so what I have identified here is all these white lines are just historical key levels, and this, which just looks like a very, very steep bearish trend line, this is lower time frame bearish market structure that you're going to see has been respected for about almost 3 days now. Okay, so now when we zoom down to the 1 minute time frame and we observe the buyers and sellers strength, look at this. Okay, we can see that gold sellers from that peak sell point at 1912, when we saw that meltdown, were in control. So sellers were seeing impulsive sellers moves on the lower time frame, peaking new lows, and then you would see a corrective phase, either consolidation or a pullback that goes to retest structure, and then a continuation down, right? So for this extended period of about 3 days, sellers were in control on gold until we peaked this 1820 low point, and you can see then we started to break above this bearish market structure, and initially we had a failure to break our higher time frame key level at 1855, where you can see we had exhaustion in this area throughout the entire day. But even when we had this pullback, it failed to retest the previous low and started to create a bullish market structure, and gold is now breaking above 1855 as well. So currently what we can identify is that daily and weekly support level, and that dip is being respected by buyers. Sellers exited out positions at this price point, and we're starting to identify sellers exhausting out of the market. We're not seeing as strong sellers impulsive moves. We're not seeing new lows being created, right? We're actually seeing sellers starting to exhaust and slow down. We're starting to see a bullish market structure on the lower time frame being developed, and we're starting to see a break above those previous highs at 1855, and even now a support being created at 1855 key level. At the same time, the US dollar, which is the secondary, of course, in this pair, it's gold against the US dollar, is starting to fade out some of its strength when we come and look at the US dollar on the intraday time frames here. You could say even when the US dollar had this little cap bounce, when you're looking at the dollar index, it's starting to fade out its strength. So if we see the US dollar stand alone, continue down and fade out that strength and continue back down to its historical lows, or even come back down to retest these previous intraday highs, this downside move on the US dollar gives us more confirms for gold upside, EURUSD upside, GBPUSD upside, and US30 upside, because it shows us more money's going into the equity markets and coming out of the US dollar. Okay? So that is something we want to keep a lookout on, is observing the US dollar's movement throughout London session, because it tells us a lot about the overall movement of money within the safe haven currencies. And if we see money coming out of the safe haven currencies, meaning a downside move on the US dollar, we see the Japanese yen continue bearish standalone here, which is a safe haven currency. We know that there's higher potential that if GJ, EU, GU are holding bullish structure, we're looking for pullback buy points or breakout buy points, right? So now on gold, Does that make sense of how, yes, we had that sell-off move with the market optimism? Yes, sellers were in control, but we are starting to, when we zoom in on the lower time frames, the 1 minute, observing price action at these key levels and historical price points, as well as looking at the daily and weekly structure, we are starting to see sellers fade out of the market here and buyers start to jump back in and bullish market structure develop. Does that make sense to everybody? Of how we're identifying that, of how for this period of time of 3 day, we could obviously see sellers were in control until this low point was peaked, where we finally saw a break out of market structure. This pullback failed to retest previous lows or create new lows, and we didn't see as strong of an aggressive sell-off. We could see we started to range and consolidate and develop lower time frame bullish market structure, as well as finally break above these previous intraday and 1 minute highs. Okay, so now let's clean this up here and zoom in and create some trade ideas based on this information. So right now, when we're looking at current structure and price action and positioning of gold, I do not feel safe taking sells unless we broke below this price sensitivity area at 1844, or higher risk, higher reward sells at 1876.5 rejection. Okay, so 1 second here. Primarily, we are in a buy bias, and what would be ideal for me is at London Open, which right now it's pre-London. It's not even, what time is it right now? It's not even German Open yet. It's still 1:50 a.m. Eastern. Okay, so what would be ideal for me is through the next hour and at London Open, if we could get a pullback to retest this lower time frame bullish market structure and then start to scale in buys at the key levels and continue to ride this bullish structure. Okay, even over the last hour, we can see when we zoom in on the price action that we had this break and retest above our 1855 key level on the dot, and already a 50 pip upside move. So if we could get a pullback to our key levels during London session and a lower time frame support and order block made at the key level, these ranges on gold from like 1852 to 1855, as a scalper and intraday trader, that 30 to 50 pips is great. Okay, so just give me 1 second here, and I'm just going to type out those trade ideas we are looking for. 1 second. Okay, sorry. 1 sec. Joshua, do you want it to go down because it's at a resistance level? No, I do not. I didn't say anything about gold going down. I said I want to pull back for better buys. I don't want to buy at the top, you know what I mean, or buy right down. It doesn't make sense as we're coming to the pre-London hour and this hourly candle is closing. It's nice that this hourly candle is closing bullish, right? But I want to look for a pullback. So hey Jeeve, who's your favorite trader? Alu Akbar. Bro, come on. Why you come here? Come on, bro. I'm not gonna take you seriously with that name. I don't know who Pinder is. 1 minute order block formed. Okay. So primarily in a bullish bias, what would be ideal is if we just play around. Over the next hour or two, we get a pullback to 1848, an order block formed and failed to break this area in lower time frame bullish structure. Pop above 1852, and you're looking for scaling in at the key level for entry points. Okay. The safer, less rewarding entry is you have this pullback to retest bullish structure. We have our continuation to the upside. We break this previous 1 minute high, and you take the breakout entry above this 1864 medium term zone up to 1876.5. Okay. All right. I'm a MetaTrader. Why do you hide your MetaTrader? I'm not even in any trades right now or trading myself. This is like an analysis stream, and you can't do all this labeling or chart analysis as good on MetaTrader, or adjust the screen to have the news headlines to the left. But if you want to see any trades I've taken, you could just scroll through the analysis chat here. You can see all these webinars. You can see all these different trades. So if you guys want to see any trades I've taken, analysis, if you want to see like a weekly profit, like for example, this was a weekly profit last week. And then here's all the biggest loss last week was $900. These were the losses that hit stop loss. This is like the list of all the trades that were taken. And then this was the profit. So if you want to go check out all of that stuff, like see the process of that, you could go to the Capital Hungry Analysis channel and also check out all these educational webinars as well. So that's up to you to do. You can reach Pinder with his WhatsApp number. Yeah, if anybody wants to contact Pinder, make sure you guys contact that WhatsApp number. Okay. All right. So for gold, right now the US dollar is looking relatively flat. We've identified that sellers exhaustion on the US dollar in the shift into bullish market structure alongside our higher time frame key levels. They say trading history can be manipulated. I just joined this broker, like, because if you didn't know, the broker that a lot of us used to use, like myself, Wix Don't Lie, we use Vantage FX. They left Canada, so with November I had to change brokers. So unless in that month I changed brokers and ended up making my own broker that I'm manipulating, then that doesn't make much sense, right? Because why do you need so much stuff that would not help you in your trading skill? What do you mean, CS? What do you what do you need? Okay, so anyways, So when we're looking to the headlines to the left of the screen, we don't see anything too high impactful yet. We have some ECB speakers. Oh, do we have any questions in the Zoom chat? No, no. Okay. So now you can see that it's pre-London hourly just opened up. We're getting a little bit of a pullback. I still do want to pull back and to look for any supports created at our higher time frame key levels or the retest of bullish market structure. I would only be looking for safe sells if we had these confirms. And what I'm looking at currently, the US dollar is looking relatively flat. We are still respecting this bullish structure. We have broken above those previous 1 minute and intraday highs. So I am primarily in a bullish bias. Now for the next hour and through London Open, I just want to wait for that pullback and wait for these trade ideas and those confirms to set up, which whatever one does set up now. So does that make sense for everybody on the gold analysis and breakdown so far and the trade ideas on gold? And then we will jump to GJ. Any further questions about gold? Yeah, because a lot of scammers. This is a free YouTube stream. And if you think something else is like a scam or manipulation, then you don't have to join. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Okay. Isaac Kid. So the stop loss on gold is, we will talk about that, the stop loss and TP ranges. Once we come to entry points, the stop loss is going to be based on market structure. What point, no, I don't care about any haters or trolls. Because I want to answer your guys' questions too, if you guys have any questions, you know what I mean? There's always going to be trolls. It's just like it's the internet. There's 5 billion internet users. You think everybody's going to be nice or have the same viewpoint as you? A lot of people are angry. A lot of people are angry with themselves. They're angry with their life. They're not where they want to be. They can't do what other people are doing. So, you know what I mean? It's up to them. I'm not here to judge, bro. Fuck. So anyways, any questions about gold? Otherwise, I'm going to go to GJ now. So Q or we, gold and Dixley are not always inversely correlated. You just have to understand that there is that short-term inverse impact because the secondary in this pair is the US dollar. Okay? So yes, when there's mass economic fear and uncertainty, both the US dollar and both gold will be, both the US dollar and both gold will be bullish when there's that mass uncertainty and fear. Yeah. All right. Okay, so now let's go check out GJ if there's no more. Now, as we're waiting for our gold trades to cook, our gold analysis to cook out, Reggie, you guys are good. You guys are good, so good. Zoom chat, you guys have no questions about gold, right? I'm gonna go to GJ now. It's okay. Anybody can, like, I don't ban anybody from the YouTube chat, so it's like, don't worry about it. So, how many of you guys got a chance to watch? How many of you guys got a chance to watch the GBPJPY analysis webinar? So I don't want to go into heavy detail and like go back to like the monthly time frame, but what was basically discussed. What are you saying? Oh, you have a question about what? Oh, sorry, I don't look at nickel, EV, or copper. Sorry about that. Can you read about Dixie? That's all good. Nitin, I think it's best to wait. Nitin, I think it's best for you to wait. Rocking Star, all of the analysis is like all of the trades that are taken that I show. The analysis is given either on the live streams or to the Capital Hungry chat. So that is just the after that is just the aftermath. So when I'm showing that trading profit, for example, like it's not to be just to quickly show you here, right? So it's not to be showing off. When I'm showing the trading profit, it's the same way like when a year ago I had this free chat, right? And you can see here, see a year ago, this is from 2019 when I wasn't trading big lots, when I wasn't making like thousands of dollars, and you see these 0.10s. This wasn't to say, hey guys, look at me, look at the trade, look at the money I'm making. It was to say, hey guys, see this analysis? See these trade ideas? This is the trade idea. This was the execution. So for example, like this is April 24th, 2019. You guys can see from the Capital Hungry analysis chart. This gold trade, for example, was sent for like a sell. So right here, you can see gold sells. You get what I'm saying? It's all good. Don't worry about the trolls, guys. Just let it be. People got a lot of anger. It's fine. So when I'm showing these trades, now that my lots are bigger, that's just because I've been trading for a year and developing my skill set, right? I started from penny lots just like anybody else. So when I'm showing these trades, like for example, this was the same gold sell entry that I sent the analysis ahead of time for, right? So I'm showing that process. I'm showing, hey guys, this is what I think about gold. This is the analysis. This is what I want to do. You know what I mean? Hey guys, this was the end result. Do you get what I'm saying? So then, for example, like I just show the process of that. Hey guys, I'm leaving a runner still because that analysis is still playing out, etc., etc. So this, now when we come back to 2020, oh, it's 2021 now. Shit. So now when we come back to 2021 now, these trades that you're seeing here, they are from either the Capital Hungry live streams that are on YouTube or analysis. So it's saying, hey guys, remember that analysis I sent at the start of the week? This is the result of that. And I'm not saying, hey guys, look, it's all winners. I don't take losses. I'm saying here, by following risk management, yes, I took a shit ton of individual losses, but my biggest loss was like 30 pips on a 3-lot gold, like $900. You know what I mean? But my biggest win was $4,000. So it's like risk versus reward. And then if you want to see the list of all the trades, if you really think I'm editing every single one of these trades, then I can't fucking convince you any better. You know what I mean? The rest is up to you. All right. All right. So that's why, like, I don't show the trades to show off and say, hey, come make a shit ton of money with me. I show the trades to say, hey, remember that gold analysis I just sent you guys? Go check it out. So anyways, did you guys get a chance to see the GJ webinar that I posted? If not, I'm going to quickly run through what I was discussing and summarize it here, okay? What I wanted to summarize, that overall GJ, I don't know why that's so thick. Overall, GJ is in bullish market structure. You can see that with a lot of the negativity we were having in the markets and how Brexit was initially very messy, we were getting a lot of uncertainty and heavy whipsaws. We were having uncertainty regarding Brexit. This is before the Brexit deal, December 25th, okay? So you can see we were getting a lot of uncertainty regarding Brexit. We were having a new strain of COVID found in the UK. The UK was on lockdown. You would think GBP was going to melt, right? No, investors didn't care. GBP buyers didn't get shaken out. We failed to break previous lows. We still respected overall bullish market structure. And we broke above previous highs with new highs created by buyers. Okay? So now, gold is still respecting, GBPJPY is still respecting bullish market structure, as well as we do have short-term optimism regarding the Brexit deal. We just want to be very, very careful. We just want to be very, very careful of some of the Brexit debates that are going on. But what we can see is that we are reacting to previous highs. Previously, when we reacted at these highs, we had an aggressive pullback to 139.5, right? This time, the pullback was a lot shorter and didn't go all the way down to 139.5, showing less seller strength and more buyers in the market. And we also broke above the bearish lower time frame market structure and are respecting lower time frame bullish market structure, which I'm going to show you guys on the 1 minute. So what I want to summarize is when we're looking at GBPJPY, there is still the optimism regarding the Brexit deal. None of the negative factors, such as the new COVID strain, had an impact on scaring out GBP buyers, and the Japanese yen is still relatively bearish, as well as UK stock markets are still very bullish. Overall, UK stock markets are still bullish. You're still having buyers in the UK stock markets print highs, very similar to every other region, showing a lot of investor confidence in the UK markets. So as long as GJ respects lower time frame bullish market structure, which you can see this bearish structure was GJ's corrective phase. So as buyers pushed up to peak those previous intraday highs, and there was not enough buyer order flow to break out higher, you had buyers exit the market. When buyers cash out and exit the market and liquidate their positions, sellers jump hand in hand to relieve them out of the market. This created this lower time frame pullback bearish market structure, correct? Until we created this strong support around 0.500 psychological price level and then broke and retested above the corrective bearish market structure and started to create lower time frame bullish market structure. Then we had GBPJPY sellers exit, buyers enter the market as the higher time frames are still bullish, UK equity markets are still bullish, Japanese yen standalone is still bearish, and we have potential for Brexit optimism. You can see we had an impulsive move to break this corrective bear structure, break above 140.800 higher time frame key level, create an order block and support, and extend up to retest those previous intraday highs. All right, so now when we zoom in on the lower time frame price action in market structure as scalp traders and intraday traders, we can't deny, one, that GBPJPY buyers on the intraday and higher time frame are printing highs. Two, the structure is still bullish on the intradays. Three, we had a breakout of this lower time frame bearish market structure, which you could see was being respected for about an intraday period of almost a full day and a half, right? We finally broke out of that bearish structure and saw buyers come back in control. And we are respecting this lower time frame bullish structure, as well as using our psychological price levels as support. So I can't see safe GJ sells unless we really broke below 140.800. Anything above 140.800 to me is looking like safer intraday buys. Unless we take sell scalps from 141 to 140.8 with the validation of failing to break these highs and a break and retest below this lower time frame bullish market structure. So, but overall, we don't have any UK economic data overnight, as you guys saw the economic event reminders here. when you guys are looking at some of the key fundamental points, overall market optimism's holding stronger, and some of those COVID strain variants aren't having a negative impact on the markets. And we are respecting this lower time frame bullish market structure. So what would be ideal? I don't think Donald Trump's going to get the JFK treatment in 2021, but they're silencing him in a different way. You get what I'm saying? They're silencing him in the modern technology way instead of actually assassinating him and shutting him up that way. If that makes sense. Okay, so does GJ make sense? Higher time frames are still bullish. Short-term optimism regarding the Brexit deal. Intraday time frames are still bullish with buyers printing new highs or at least revisiting previous highs. Lower time frame, we saw a break out of that corrective bearish structure and bullish structure forming. We're above 140.800 higher time frame key level. We're primarily looking for a pullback at London Open and London candle. I'm sorry, that London Open hourly candle and over London hours to 141 flat. A support formed in higher risk, higher reward buys. Higher risk, higher reward buys, or you wait for that pullback and then the breakout entry above previous highs at 141.200. I would only be looking for sells if we came and made our way down, broke this structure with an impulsive play, retested 141 and failed to break, then we can take those sells down to 0.800 and watch potential shift in structure. But otherwise, the higher time frames, the intraday time frames, and the lower time frames are still bullish. I don't want to start guessing tops and trying to be a hero. I would rather play with what I see right in front of me, especially as the Japanese yen is still relatively flat. The US dollar standalone is still relatively flat on the intraday time frames, and as well as the UK equities are still quite bullish. Okay, so yes, we could get rejection at these previous intraday highs and failures to break, but I do not want to start jumping in sells unless we had those confirms and shift in structure. I'm primarily in a buy bias, but we have done our analysis and mapped out our trade ideas where we can adapt to anything that comes in real time. But so far, does it make sense about gold and GJ? And then I'm going to jump to Euro USD and US30. We still have time until actual London Open, which is in 40 minutes. Any questions in the YouTube private chat? YouTube chat, private chat? Okay, I'm just going to quickly grab some water. Just give me 1 second here. 0.08 up like around here above this little order block break. Okay, so where do I look to exit the trade or should I hold out? Okay, so did you already secure any partials? Because now you're gonna get your answer based on the observation of price action. Obviously, if we break out of 0.200 right now, you can extend the trade. But if we continue to reject here and fail to break, then you know there's going to be a higher probability that if we make our way down and break below this little price sensitivity area, that price is going to come back to your entry. Okay? So keep in mind that obviously we have London open as well. So yes, you got that nice little scalp squeeze, which is great, but you can't extend. So leave your runner risk free, but you can't extend your trade until you have the breakout above 0.200, which looks like we might be getting now, right? So just keep an eye on that. And when we zoom in more on the price action, where I would look to secure your runner is if we at London Open, you can see we had this little price sensitivity area here where we're starting to potentially break above. If we still don't break above 0.200 and then London Open breaks this price sensitivity area, I would just secure out your position. Just because there's going to be higher potential London Open will do that deeper pullback. Okay. So let's keep an eye on GJ here. If we break out of 0.200 and get the potential retest entry, or if we still will get the pullback at London Open, same trade ideas still stand. Now we're just going to be observing the price action on the lower time frame. Gold, similar idea. If gold hourly closes like 50 pips above the 55 key level and closes this bullish for the following hour, if we could get another retest to even the 55 key level, if we don't get that aggressive pullback, and then we get a support formed here again, we could continue to ride the buys up. We're looking at some of our headlines to the left of the screen here. Not too much. We have some coronavirus headlines from UK side. Just talking about lockdown rules. But nothing too high impactful as per headlines. Yeah, if you guys have any questions or concerns, just leave it in the chat if you want me to check out a chart. Now that we've done our gold analysis and GJ analysis and we have our trade ideas lined up here, I'm going to go on to EURUSD and then US30. And then we're going to be watching the markets through London session, looking for those potential execution points, all right? Watch here for the breakout. What time is it now? So if we could get a break above here and this 30-minute candle closes bullish, like over the next 5 minutes, that would be ideal. Then a retest on the following 30 on the 1 minute to 0.200 and then scalps up. So keep an eye on that. All right, so Euro USD. Let's clean this up here. Let's go to our Euro USD analysis from last week. Private chat. The TP, if we break up above 0.200, I'm looking to go up to 0.500, 141.5. If we do have that breakout, like either at London Open. Okay, so Euro USD, you could see our intraday analysis last week. We noticed the exhaustion that buyers were having at all intraday highs at 1.233 higher time frame key level, but this lower time frame bullish market structure you could see here was still being widely respected. Just as we've had that recent bounce in the US dollar strength, you can see we've started to get this pullback play with sellers coming into control as we're breaking that structure and breaking below 1.21985. So when we're looking at the 4 hour on Euro USD here, you can see we finally noticed some exhaustion by buyers as these new highs were peaked and a break of this bullish market structure, which was holding for almost a full month, right? Now what I'm looking for is, yes, we're getting a bit of this support formed where we could catch some buys up to retest 1.22 and possibly this lower time frame bearish market structure, and then continue sells down for that deeper retest and pullback on the higher time frames for better intraday and higher time frame buys from 1.99 as per our analysis here. So right now, you can see we finally got our break below 1.21985 for potential break below and corrective phase and pullback phase on Euro USD as buyers are starting to cash out positions from their highs. Now, as I just want to zoom into the lower time frames here to see what potential scalp and intraday trade ideas we can take advantage of, because currently we can notice obviously the higher time frames such as the monthly, the quarterly, are still very bullish, right? Euro USD is extremely bullish when you zoom out here. Very bullish. But for Euro USD, after peaking highs to have a pullback phase and then continue back up, it's not abnormal. It's just the way the market works when buyers exit out their positions. So now, as we're starting to see some exhaustion from those highs, if we could capitalize on that pullback to that potential higher risk, higher reward buy entry point at 1.19, that would be ideal, right? So that's what I'm looking to play, is this pullback corrective structure. But I just want to see what the lower time frames are looking at, because we can see that on the hourly, we're starting to create a fresh support here in the middle of this price sensitivity area to the left. What are you guys talking about in the chat? Focus, man. You guys focus on these trade setups coming. What are you guys talking about? You guys got any questions that I missed or anything? YouTube chat, Zoom chat. Am I missing something? Any questions, concerns? CAD JPY buys and AUD NZD sells. CAD JPY buys make sense, similar to other JPY pairs, as long as Japanese yen stays fairly weak. But I don't trade AUD NZD. AUD NZD, like a risk currency versus risk currency pair, can be very messy on the intradays. It's like trading like a GBP NZD. It can get very messy. But CAD JPY buys, just as you have a risk currency against a safe haven, I wouldn't be surprised if it's similar structure to like GJ or AJ, right? When we're looking, like when you come to CAD JPY here on the 4-hour, see how it's similar structure to GJ, where you're pretty much retesting and playing around those previous highs and still holding this bullish market structure, as you have the Japanese yen as a secondary, as a safe haven currency, which is weaker. So it's running fairly similar in the sense that you have a risk currency as the primary and the safe haven currency as a secondary. But I don't look at CAD JPY. I just trade GBPJPY, because usually GBP has a bit more volatility than the Canadian dollar. But that doesn't mean you can't trade CAD JPY. So for this 30-minute, it looks like we're starting to get the breakout on this new 30. If you didn't get a breakout entry, let's patiently wait for a retest. Don't start rushing entries willy-nilly just because we are at those previous intraday highs, and we still do have London open in the next 30 minutes, but we're still respecting bullish structure and price action. Gold as well, I would like to get a pullback to 1855, but otherwise we're going to take breakout 64 break and retest entries. I primarily like to wait for London open. Yes, exactly what you just said is what I primarily like to wait for. Okay, anyways, GBP USD. So yes, we are breaking this bullish structure after noticing buyers exiting positions and exhaustion at these intraday highs and higher time frame key level, right? But overall, it is still extremely bullish on the higher time frames, and we are starting to get a bit of a intraday support created here. So we can, as long as the US dollar continues bearish, I'm looking for on the 1 minute here, I'll show you guys. What would be ideal? I don't know if we're gonna get it. is the retest of this 1 minute low support, higher risk, higher reward buys, or the buys after the London Open pullback at this medium term area at 1.217 flat. But what we have to be cautious about is we are just looking to ride these buys up back to the key level and back to retest this bearish market structure. Okay, if we reject this bearish market structure and reject the key level, you know you cannot extend these buys. Okay, and the safest buys would be a break and retest. Let's check some of our headlines to the left here. Economic events, just a reminder that we don't have any economic events that we're focusing on. If you guys enjoy the stream, if you guys want these streams more often, make sure to like and subscribe and share it around your social media. Some of the key fundamental points over the last couple of days that we are focusing on. Don't forget your mental reminders. The market is always here. No matter if it's a war, if it's a financial crash, if it's a pandemic, the market is always going to be moving. But your capital may not be. All right? So stay as emotionally neutral as possible and stay smart. And that's what we're looking at on Euro USD. We can identify that there is a support being formed and some signs of sellers exhaustion at the same time that the US dollar is fading out some strength. I would like a pullback to these 1 minute lows and then watch if we get a support formed and a failure to break lower, and then start to run our way up. The safest buys would be if we get these confirmed. I would only be looking for sells if we broke below these 1 minute lows. And I'm primarily going to be watching if we have any Brexit debate headlines. We're going to be watching how the US dollar runs overnight, and we're going to be watching how German, Euro, and UK equities overall run. Okay. Gold looking like it's starting to give us our little pullback, which is good. Everything makes sense. Look, this is why I said don't rush anything on GJ. This wasn't this most significant break yet, and it looks like we're going to get our deeper pullback as well. We have the coronavirus. UK policing minister talking about tighter restrictions in the UK will depend on the progress of the virus, so nothing too major. Okay, everything makes sense with gold, GJ, and Euro USD. Then I'm going to come and start doing some analysis on US30. Do we have any questions or concerns in the private chat or YouTube chat? No, I like to use either higher time frame historical key levels, which are based on yearly, quarterly, and monthly price points, psychological price levels, and retests of market structure. Sometimes these retests of market structure are can end up being previous highs or lows as well, depending what time frame you're looking at. Don't worry, man. We didn't even start to look yet. This is just I was just doing the analysis. A support would be if we come down here, fail to break, start to get a mix of bullish and bearish candles in an order block or consolidation zone created, a break above that order block to show exhaustion by sellers and more buyers jumping back in, like similar to like that. Now we're just gonna watch Euro USD, let price action develop. We don't have any economic data reports, and the last couple of London sessions have been ranging pretty hard. So I don't have any high expectations, but we have done our analysis of the trade ideas we're looking for. So once price does reach these various entry points, we'll start to observe price action a lot closer. Just keep an eye on some of your reactive headlines to the left here, and we're gonna get our gold pullback, and we're gonna get our GJ pullback as well. Let's see if we get the reaction to 141. Before I jump into doing some US30 analysis here, I'm just going to make sure there's no questions in the private chat or YouTube chats. What's going on? I don't know what's going on in the YouTube chat, how many views I got. I don't like to look at any of that till the end. So first, Rockstar, the troll guy. So guys, don't worry about any trolls. Just like cyberbullying is one of the stupidest things. Just close your eyes, exit the screen, ignore them, don't reply. Just let me reply to them. You know what I mean? It's just some guy typing away on the screen. It's no big deal. If you really think about the ideology behind a troll, some guy who's taking his time, effort, and energy to come watch my stream, log in with a troll account, come honest, like, you know what I mean, come to the comments, start typing up something so angry. That whole action of events, when I think about that, I feel bad for the person and I laugh. So that's just what I see, and then I usually, that's why I don't ban them, because for someone to put that much time and energy to come look at what I'm doing and analyze it and judge it, just let them be. You know what I mean? Like, why ban them? He's already at a low point in his life, so why make it even worse? Just let him have his little two minutes of troll, you know? Gavin, I don't. We can look at AUD NZD if you want. Maybe later on in the night when the market slow down a bit. We primarily already look at like gold, GJ, Euro USD, US30, GBP USD. We already look at so many pairs actively for trade ideas, but we can go take a peek at gander at AUD NZD later on through the stream. All right, so if there's no actual question, if no, yes, MIM, we can see your, I can see your message. Yeah, so that's why if I wanted to clean up the chats, I could have some chat mods running. I could ban all the trolls. I could just have every single piece of negative comment deleted. But fuck, man, that's a lot of extra energy and work that I don't want to put my time into. All right, so if there's no questions, where's your analysis you sent? MIM? I didn't see that. Yeah, I don't block anybody. Sorry, I didn't see your analysis. But if there's no questions about any of the analysis we have done so far, I'm going to now break down my view on US30, okay? Okay, so US30, obviously with investor confidence being so high, more financial stimulus coming into the scene in the US, the mass the mass injection into the money markets and printing of the US dollar, a lot of the fear regarding COVID being priced in and the greed train running so strong, even when we're getting some aggressive intraday pullbacks, these pullbacks aren't breaking previous lows, aren't breaking historical key levels, and we're also having buyers continuously printing new highs as well. Okay, you can see that it looked like we were going to have another aggressive pullback on US30 to retest previous highs or deeper like 30.500, but we retested our key level 3750 and had this very strong bullish engulfing candle on the 4-hour to wipe out the previous 12 hours worth of price data, as well as now a support being formed around 31K flat. So we can't deny how bullish the equity markets are, and I don't want to start calling sells or calling a top like a hero, okay? What I can see is a potential target of revisiting this previous highs, a support being created at 31K, this pullback phase coming to an end, and the potential creation of lower time frame bullish market structure. So now, as long as the US dollar remains relatively flat, as long as the US gold and a one, as long as the US dollar remains relatively flat and bearish overnight, and we continue to maintain this bullish market structure, I am looking for retest points on US30 on the lower time frame and continued buys. So now that we understand the higher time frames are bullish, our key levels, our higher time frame key levels are being used as support. We're seeing continuous highs being created by buyers. Market optimism is holding overall strong, not just in the US, but across regions across the world. Like look at the stock markets across the world, right? And any of the negativity regarding new COVID strains, even when the capital got raided, even when Trump is getting banned and getting pretty much kicked out of the White House now, none of this is having a negative impact on the stock market so far. Investors in the stock market, these big whale buyers don't give a shit. So we have to understand and digest that. What is this, Ernalyn? No, yeah, I pretty much just said what you were talking about here now. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So when we come to the lower time frames here now on the 1 minute for execution points and to identify structure, we can see that after we peaked these all-time highs, similar to GJ, we had a very strong sell-off and a pullback that failed to break and retest previous highs and create this bearish market structure. From this point, we had another impulsive sell-off to revisit our higher time frame key level. Okay, so we're going to identify this as the pullback or corrective structure after peaking the all-time highs. Okay, you can see after after having that deeper liquidity grab and failing to break the 3750 key level, we had an impulsive move to the upside, a break above our 31K key level, and a order block and consolidation zone created now, where we are still holding bulls. We can also identify from this peak point some bullish market structure that is being created, which I'm going to mark out now. And let's get rid of some of this mess here. Okay. And obviously a lot of price sensitivity and rejection here. So the safest US30 buys is if we continue to respect this structure, fail to break back below 31K flat, respect LTF bullish structure, break above 1 minute highs here, what we just marked out. So that's what I see on US30. All right. Yes, US30 is still bullish. We are currently respecting some of this lower time frame bullish market structure as well and breaking out of that bear structure. But we are getting a lot of rejection over the last few hours at this 31,100 price point and creating this consolidation zone and liquidity block. Okay. So if we fail to break these highs, break this minor bullish structure, and then break below 31K, then we have enough confirms that we can sell off and be confident in risking some shorts, taking some sells down to retest these previous lows in the next key level. All right. If we continue to range and consolidate here, we're not playing with that range. We're not playing any guessing games in that consolidation phase. We will let the markets consolidate and generate order flow, wait for a break to the upside, and then take the safer buys with the confirms labeled there. Okay? So we're going to be watching that overnight. Let's see some of these headlines here, just regarding some of the vaccine headlines. Gold looking like it's going to give us our deeper pullback. We have London open in 11 minutes as well. And now we're waiting for those trade ideas, and I'm going to look at GBPUSD, but I just have to go to the washroom in a second. Before I go to the washroom, any questions, concerns? Now, before I go, for anybody who is new to the stream, London session open in 10 minutes. For anybody that is new to the stream, that is new to Capital Hungry, understand that yes, we have a private channel where we do these streams every night, and there's a lot more offered in the private channel, such as like 50 plus educational webinars, weekly analysis, higher time frame analysis, this newsroom access, key level alerts, and everything else, like access to the community here and everything else, access to all of these key level price alerts, these Zoom sessions we do day to day, etc., right? But before anybody is looking to join the private channel, make sure you do your due diligence and check out all the free resources I offer first. So the first one being, of course, these live streams and the YouTube channel, okay? Here on the YouTube channel, youtube.com, Capital Hungry, where you guys are watching right now, all 160 of you, okay? You have fundamental and technical analysis across different pairs, gold, GJ, these live streams, which are 4 hours long. You have fundamental webinars, psychology webinars, scalping webinars. You have all of this content, which are anywhere from 30-minute webinars to 4-hour webinars for free. All right? On everything I have learned through my trading journey, from psychology through technicals through fundamentals. All right. You also have this Capital Hungry Twitter, which doesn't post as many headlines or as active headlines as the news terminal. That's just for private members, but it's still a great free resource that posts headlines and news more frequently than any other news source I've seen. And then you have the Capital Hungry free Telegram analysis channel. So if you're looking to join the Capital Hungry private channel, if you've been scammed before, if you've paid for thousands of dollars for a course and you felt like you didn't get what you deserved, you can go watch all of these free webinars first and then be like, fuck, if he offers that much for free, then what is everybody else paying for? And if you want to learn more, you can also even watch this Capital Hungry private channel introduction video that tells you exactly how the private service works. That's where all these guys in the Zoom chat are sitting right here. Okay? We are not always open for signups. We just opened in the new year. We usually close signups as soon as we hit 400 to 450 members. Right now we're around 360. So we have about like 40 to 80 slots left. And as soon as we hit those members, I close off signups just because if we have too many people in a group, it can be very noisy and distracting and take away from a productive environment. So for anybody who wants to study and learn more, want to learn about how I view the markets, you have all of these free resources. You have the Capital Hungry free analysis channel here as well. You have the Capital Hungry Twitter as well. And if I can offer that much for free and that much content and value for free and do these streams, imagine what is offered in the private chats. Because I bet a lot of you have used different services and courses and they don't even offer this much for free. They probably don't even offer anything for free. You know what I mean? Yeah, sure, Gavin. Sure, Gavin. Why not, man? But all right, now we have for anybody that was looking for those free resources, who wants to learn more, who wants to contact me, the Capital Hungry private chat is open for signups. And we do these obviously more often. The same way we do these streams twice a week, we do them every day in the private channel most of the time. And then there's a bunch of other things offered as well. I'll talk about all that shit later for anybody who's curious. But make sure you check out all the free resources first and get your knowledge fill first, you know? All right, so now I'm just going to go to the washroom. I'll be back here. I'll be back at London Open. We're not going to execute anything right at London Open anyways. We're going to let the markets cook for like 10-15 minutes into London Session Open. And we're still waiting for these same trade ideas on gold, GJ, EURUSD, US30. See how US30 came to retest this bullish structure, but it's still being respected so far. GBPUSD, we're going to take a look at that after. We can see that the dollar is still relatively flat, but it's failing to break previous lows. Japanese yen's relatively flat. Global equities are still solid. We understand that we don't have any economic events to watch overnight. A lot of that stuff's through New York. We understand some of the key fundamental points we're focusing on. Don't forget all of your mental reminders. And make sure to like, subscribe, and share this stream for more. You just want a group to compare charts with someone else? Then just make a group. Like, if you want, like, yeah, I'm going to the washroom, don't worry. I took some BTC dip buys. I've been backtesting Bitcoin. I've been backtesting Bitcoin in the lower time frames and stuff. I'm up like 6,000 US dollars. I got some dip buys on that. I just started backtesting that recently, just because it's been so liquid and respecting market structure very well. And yeah, we're gonna do analysis on GU and USDCAD, don't worry, but I'll just be right back here. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, share for more. Any questions or concerns, leave it in the chats. Okay. Okay, we're about 5 minutes into London Open here. GJ, okay, let's see what's happened to GJ previous hourly. GJ high, if you got big balls, there's some high risk sells right now at 0.200. If you got big balls. Just because with this, when we're looking at the price action over the last couple of hours, you can see that the bullish upside momentum really slowed down over the last few hours. And this London Open candle already pushed up to 0.200 and rejected. So it's still very, very bullish on the lower time frames and messy. And our same trades ideas still stand, but we can't ignore that price action. So let's just watch it now. Because if we break above 0.200, then we're still getting our same trade idea. The safer trade sells would still be this. All right. So right now, 5 minutes into London Open, London pushed up to 0.200, failed to break so far. We're getting some nice rejections, but this is still, unless we break to the low side of these candle bodies, this is still all assumed as buyer side liquidity. Do you get what I'm saying? So even if we range here for the next 30, 40 minutes, the next couple of hours, as long as we don't break the bullish structure, as long as we don't break these previous 1 minute minor lows, we can assume that this is just buyer order flow generating in the market for a potential breakout. Okay, so that's why the safer sells would still be below 141 in my opinion. So same trade ideas still stand on GJ, but we just want to note on the hourly that the price action of buyers was starting to slow down. So let's just watch the reactions at these candle body highs and lows and wait for the 0.200 breakout now. He's choking. He's choking the chicken to Brady steps. Yeah, cookie. You gotta be emotionally neutral. I haven't looked at XRP USD. I just started looking at Bitcoin recently, just back testing it. I'm not really too big into cryptos. All right, so let's watch if we get the break here to the upside and get these safe buy confirms, or if we're going to get a deeper pullback. Right now, fairly slow volume and volatility. We don't have any crazy headlines or economic data reports. This is going to be assumed as buyer side liquidity until we get unless we shift out of structure. Gold didn't do as big of a pullback to 1855. So we're still waiting for either the break and retest above 1864 to take this continued squeeze to the upside, or still the pullback to 1855. Still in a bullish bias on gold. Would only see safe sells if we shifted structure and had US dollar strength with a break below 1844 price point here that we already identified. Or if we make our way all the way up to 1876 and reject, high risk, high reward sells at this area. But currently, I don't see any good entry points at this 1 minute high. I would rather see more buyers momentum by breaking above this medium term zone, or look for better risk versus reward buys if we had that pullback to retest the key level, which we could still get. Euro USD failed to break these 1 minute highs. It looks like we're going to come and make our way down to this decision point we were talking about. If we fail to break these 1 minute lows and US dollar remains relatively flat overnight, then we're going to look to take high risk, high reward buys up to the key level. Safer buys would still be if we broke above bullish market structure and higher time frame key level, as well as this previous price rejection point, which is our key level at 1.22 flat. That would be the safer breakout buys. And the only way we're taking sells is if we have a clean break below this order block in 1 minute low at 1.213. We can take 30 pip sells down to the key level 1.21 flat and then watch accordingly. But I do not want to play in this current range here we are in. I want to see how we react at the bottom or top of the range, and it looks like we're coming to test the bottom right now. US dollar, you can see we had this exhaustion downside move but we failed to break this previous price sensitivity area and previous lows. Do you use the same broker for trading Bitcoin? Yeah, just Pacific Union. It's just that the lots are a bit different. May I ask why you're looking at the 1 minute chart? I like to do higher time frame intraday analysis as per market structure, but to observe the action of price, I like to look at the I like to watch it as fast as possible. So this when I already have predetermined areas of interest, meaning I'm looking for a retest of market structure on the 4 hour, or I'm looking for a retest of a higher time frame key level, support and resistance, whatever your terminology is. You see the best reactions, and you can see the reactions the fastest on the 1 minute time frame, in my opinion. So when it's not, you don't just watch the 1 minute willy-nilly at every time frame, right? You don't just watch the 1 minute just at every single price point. You're watching at specific price points. No, I do scalping and intraday trading. This whole idea for 1 minute you can use for swing. Like I've used for swing entries and held like gold entries for days. It's just for entries. It can get you the most refined entries when you're watching the reactions on the lowest time frame, because that's where you can see the action of price, the reactions between buyers and sellers the fastest. You don't have to wait for a bunch of hourly candles to close at an area, or a bunch of, you get what I mean, or a bunch of intraday candles to close. Oh, you're joking? I don't know. How am I supposed to know if you're joking, man? I don't know you. I don't know what's serious or not. GJ, slowly looks like we might get our breakout of 0.200 if we have some candle closures above, but it's just reacting there on the dot. Gold looks like it's going to give us our pullback. US30, we failed to break the bullish market structure. If we break above these 1 minute highs, this would be higher risk, higher reward buys, safer buys if we have these confirmed still. Yeah, so the whole 1 minute is just for the observation of price action and to look for refined entries at already predetermined areas of interest based on the higher time frame. But it's something you have to backtest and practice with, of course, and understand what you're playing with. Who's this guy that always comes in the chat and says he looks like me? What's wrong with you, man? The fuck is wrong with you? Yeah, another thing, Alex, that you just like another good point about the lower time frame 1 minute for entries is you can have more refined stop losses. And like, for example, let's just say you were to enter, let's just say GJ was to pull back to 141 and you want to enter buys, or let's just say gold, for example, you're in gold, right? Let's just say gold was to pull back to 1845 here, retest bullish market structure, and you are in buys. If you're looking at the hourly and you're looking like at the hourly wicks and stuff, your stop loss may be almost like 50 to 100 pips based on a support and resistance level on the intraday, right? But when you're looking at the lower time frame, you could have a more refined, tighter stop loss in a sense based on an area of where this guy's confusing me who says he looks like me. But you can have a more refined stop loss based on an area of where your trade would be invalid. So if you took buys here at 1847, based on the 1 minute, your stop loss would be at around. Sorry, that was the worst line ever. Your stop loss would be at around 1843, 1844 here, where if sellers were to come down and price was to break below this price point, that would make your trade invalid. Where if you're on the hourly, if you're on the hourly and entering buys, where are you putting your stop loss, like based on where your trade would be invalid? Because this, you could say this is support, you could say this is support, you could say this is support, you could say this is support. But that's just my opinion. You got, and obviously you don't have to use it. Everybody should do what works best for them and what they have back tested and done through their own trial and error process. Because at the end of the day, all of our financial background, our lifestyles, our personalities, risk thresholds are different. So this is going to completely mold into a different productive trading style. Like all, even though one trading style might work for one person, it's not going to be productive for someone else if they don't have the if they didn't have the exact same personality. You get what I'm saying? That's why trading's so unique in that sense. But let's watch gold here. We're getting that pullback towards our key level around 1855.5. GJ as well. We failed to break 0.200. Okay, so what are you guys saying? I didn't get to read the other messages. Someone, you, Jeev, I look like you. I'm just bigger than you. I dropped it in the Telegram. You dropped what in the Telegram? What are you talking about? This guy really said he's bigger than you. Yeah, okay. I go full margin personally. That's great by you. Why don't you use Wickstone Live Broker 10? Raja just came out with that broker, so I don't even like. I don't even know if it's live yet. I think it just like. But I'm probably going to like advertise the broker for him. Like how I play that one Pacific Union commercial. I'll probably play a Dominion Markets commercial and open an account with it. Yeah. Trader's domain I never used because it just at the time I always was with Vantage, right? Like I was with Vantage before Ted even made Trader's domain. And when Trader's domain first came out, it was really, it was crypto based deposits and stuff, and then I never just like dealt with it from then. All right, yo, gold's giving us this deeper pullback. We don't just enter anything just yet. We're waiting for the reactions. The only thing is the U.S. dollar is holding some strength, so I want to see if gold can give us like if it breaks below 1855 or if it just creates a support here at 1855. So let's zoom in and wait for these 1 minute candles to actually close to see where the candle bodies are closing, and wait for a few candle closures here. I don't even know what Daniel Savage sounds. I haven't heard him. Oh, the beep! You guys heard the beep on the stream? Oh shit, my bad with the key level alert. These trading view alerts get sent to the private chat. You get what I'm saying here? Like on GJ or like on gold or stuff like that. These alerts get sent to the chat. Yeah, it's pretty loud. Sorry about that. Okay, so nice initial tap in reaction and a failure to break below. I would like to get another retest here, a little support formed. and then take some buy scalps back up. We got the retest we wanted so far. I can turn this. Oh yeah, because it might tap this level again, right? So let me just like maybe pause this for now because we're watching it anyways. I want to delete it. How do I fucking just turn it off for now? There it is. On gold, we're right now if we're taking these pullback entries for intraday trade, we're easily gonna look to go back up to the top of the range in 1864 medium term zone. If we break above 1864, and we're going to 1876. But I'm just looking for a support to be formed here, or order block, or similar reactions to this. Like, see how we had this retest, and then this little order block was formed, and then this little squeeze to the upside. Looking for something similar to that, and then we can take a buy scalp on gold as per our analysis, right? Can you honor us with the GBP USD analysis? Because you said that, I am. So let's look at GU. Yeah, I got you now, right? Because you said that, I got you. Okay. Okay, so now the similar characteristics, and one of the reasons why I didn't look at GU yet is because the market structure, price action, and buyers and sellers strength on the intraday and higher time frames is primarily going to be similar to GJ. One, because obviously you have GBP as the primary in this pair, and then secondary is the US dollar. Okay. These ranges are based on, like, they're not labeled out or divided because I don't really care that much, but they're based on yearly, 12-month fiscal year, and 3-month and 1-month levels. It looks like it's a lot of lines, but this range from here to here is like 90 pips. So you can see that at these price points, you have great reactions on the intraday and lower time frames. So what the point of these historical price points is to use them as guides for entry areas and for any validation to extend trades. Because let's just say you are looking to take buys here, right? This is like 50 pips up, 50 pips up, 50 pips up, etc. On the lower time frame, as you're making your way up in your buy entries, you understand that if buyers are breaking above these higher time frame key levels in the lower time frame, you have more validation to hold your buys and extend your trade. And especially as you like break above previous highs, you can see here retested a key level on the dot, you fail to break below, you have validation to extend trades, or you know when to exit a trade, or you can use them as entry points. But yeah, no, there's nothing 7 pips apart. I think the smallest range is probably 50 pips. Like, some of these ones are smaller. Like this, this is a 40 pip range. You know, but still, for me, when I use 10 lots, if I can catch a 40 pip range, that's $4,000. You know. But yeah, Gavin, I bet, man, I bet you're the best. Yeah, this London session is fairly slow so far. GJ's ranging. Gold, strong reaction to 1855 so far. I would like it. I would like for this 30-minute candle in the next 4 minutes to close above 1855, then get a retest, lower wick form to continuation up. We didn't have any candle closures above 0.200 yet. Not as much volume in the market this week. Look at the TV, you understand why. As gold dropped 1,000 pips. Bro, did you see gold this week? What do you mean? Gold ripped it. you also have to remember it's the start of a new year, right? Start of a new fiscal year. Did anybody take those big ball sells? It's still just in a range. You only move 5 pips. And plus, you have to understand we don't have any significant economic data reports to bring any volume. We don't have any crazy groundbreaking headlines, right? Okay, let's go back to GBPUSD because we're still waiting for these trade IDs to set up. We failed to break above here again. If we make a little support at this bullish structure, there's some high risk, high reward buys, but still, these are the safer trade ideas. GBPUSD. So, COVID crash, historical lows peaked. Ever since then, Bank of England support for the British pound and heavy oversupply of the US dollar, printing this overall bullish market structure. We can see that we also broke above this yearly and quarterly bearish market structure and broke above previous intraday highs. We are looking to at least revisit these previous highs and create new highs at 1.38 flat. So that is our higher time frame intraday analysis. We don't really have to jump into like the monthly chart or anything like that, because you can clearly see that since the COVID crash, we've had this bullish market structure where even though we've had some aggressive pullbacks because of coronavirus tensions and fear, those pullbacks don't break previous lows and don't break the bullish structure, and buyers are still in overall control in the higher time frames, right? So when you're looking at especially the fact that we broke above these previous highs, and this is quarterly and yearly bearish market structure that we broke above, you can't deny that buyers are in control, especially as we printed new highs. So now that we just go down and zoom down the time frames, we can see that we are in a bit of a corrective phase here though. After peaking new intraday highs, we can see that we've entered this corrective phase where on the lower time frame, sellers are printing some minor lows, and we're having buyers exit out positions and just having this pullback created. Okay, so when you come to the lower time frame here, from an intraday perspective, I can't see, yes, I'm in a bullish bias, and yes, we have some bullish corrective structure developing right now on the lower time frame, right? But I can't see any safe buys unless we break above this bearish structure, which would validate that the pullback and corrective phase is coming to an end and there's more buyers momentum to revisit those previous highs that were just created. And I would only see that if we break above this bearish market structure and break above 1.365. Otherwise, if we continue to just play in this little minor corrective structure on GU, like you can see similar to here, and then you reject, we're going to continue down to revisit this previous low. So right now you can see where after creating this new minor low in the 1 minute in the lower time frame, we can see that this corrective structure is starting to develop as sellers exit out positions. If we don't break this bearish market structure, we're going to have an impulsive break and have a higher probability to revisit these lows. So I'm looking for sell points possibly at 1.357 and would only be looking for safer buys above 1.365. And safer sells also for a scalp down to revisit these previous lows at a break below 1.35. I primarily trade gold. I'm just back testing Bitcoin, but I primarily trade gold and GJ in Euro USD. I'll scalp the other ones while we're doing these live streams if we see any high probability setups. But I don't look at any of the daily percent change really. Like we can just sort of view that when you're looking at the technicals. Like obviously, if you see that like the 4 hour has just been in a range. You know that there hasn't been a real change in the daily percentage of the pair. I'm more just looking at the technicals and fundamentals at play. Like if obviously if there's some economic data reports or headlines that are specifically impacting a pair and we're seeing more impulsive moves on that, I'll be more inclined to want to trade that just to capitalize on that volatility. But usually it just depends on what trade idea and predetermined analysis is setting up. Yeah, no sells in the higher time frame until that range gets broken. Nothing really going on yet. US30 is still respecting this lower time frame bullish market structure. Gold 30 minute. Okay, gold 30 minute closed. Gold 30 minute right now. Very nice rejection at the key level. If we could get this following 30 to retest again in failure to break, or a quick lower wick and then turn bullish, take those scalp buys up, and you can always wait for the safe opportunities as well. But let's watch how we react here. This initial first reaction by sellers exiting out here was good, but you can see we're getting an impulsive seller's candle here. So I do want to see the following reaction if we get a failure to break again and then a support formed to start to take some scalp buys. Otherwise, if we break below, obviously we're not taking any buys. GJ, even though GJ is ranging, you can see that as we're creating this order block, we're still respecting bullish structure and we're still in that overall bullish trend. So we have to assume this is buyer side liquidity generating if we don't break these 1 minute lows. So we're still waiting for the breakout above 0.200 to take some scalp buys to the upside, and these same trade ideas still stand. Headlines to the left. We got the French finance minister speaking, but nothing too high impactful. The same coronavirus headlines we already discussed. Let's see how we react here if we fail to break. Yeah, Bank of England speakers at 5 a.m. though, around Asian session close. Euro USD, nothing significant just yet either, just ranging. US30 is creating a little order block in support at the retest of this bullish structure for those higher risk buys. But still, if you want to wait for the safe opportunities, be patient. Nice initial reaction here at these candle body lows. If we get a bullish candle close here, and if we break above these candle body highs, even the squeeze to revisit these 1 minute highs, this is roughly a 40 pip range. And if we come up to 1864. But honestly, volume and volatility is fairly weak right now. London's not that strong. Why is gold dropping so much? It's just doing a pullback, man. I thought you were a swing trader, Alex G. And I thought you were a swing trader, buddy. And I thought you were a swing trader in gold buys, and this is impacting your big swing trade. Come on, man, you gotta come better. Gotta come better than that. You're the one. You're the one who said you're the swing trader. GJ breaking above 200. Let's see if we get some candle closures above for the scalp squeeze. Even if we get a quick 10 pips. Oh, you mean, okay, Alex G. Sorry, you have to be more specific. You meant why is it dropping over the last days? It's because of the mass market optimism. You have the fact that it hits all-time highs in the 2075s and that potential repeat of history, the same thing that happened after the 2008 financial crash, right? You have the technical rejections at previous highs by buyers. You have the fact that it's a new year, new month, new quarter setting up. and you have the fact that the markets are extremely optimistic regarding all the vaccine talks, how the global stock markets are so bullish, even with all the bullshit going on. And we had a short-term bounce in the US dollar. GJ, no clean break, man. You guys fucking teased it. Look at this bullshit you guys fucking teased, man. Fucking YouTube chat. Look where the candle closed, man. Looked like we were on our way. Still ranging. Can you get a family discount if capital hungry if your brother pays for the group? Do you have family members that shop at Walmart? Do you go to Walmart and say, hey, my fucking uncle shops here? Can I get a discount on this milk? You probably don't ask that, right? It's probably just like, oh, it's a regular store. The customer. Does Walmart even have? Walmart has discount codes? I don't know. We don't have that in Canada. Walmart's. Gavin also got a point. Gavin also low-key got a point. Like if you're the brother. Just don't fucking resell shit, man. We caught another guy. I've caught like 4 people reselling shit. Bitcoin is just another investment vehicle. You know what I mean? For people to make money on, trade the waves. Right now, very bullish market structure. Buyers printing new highs. It did a very nice dip, and making a support on the intraday, where it looks like that dip's going to get bought up and just go back to the highs. Okay, so the 30-minute, it's creating that lower wick. You can see that we didn't break above these candle body highs just yet. The safer scalp would be, like, if you want to be high risk, waiting for the entry right at 1855 and failure to break, but breaking above these 1-minute candle body highs would be the safer scalp squeeze to the upside after failures to break 1855. Market volume and volatility is pretty stagnant as well. So let's just be patient and wait for the gold confirms. GJ also did not break above 141.200 yet. It actually did a very hard rejection here. We still have it just playing in about this 8 pip range. The Zoom talk, the Zoom chat's usually muted. People just got pots and pans and shit. Babies crying and shit. Doesn't scalping stress you out? I mean, we haven't even taken a trade yet, so what's stressful? You only get stressed when you're in a position. You don't really get stressed just staring at the charts. If you get stressed just doing analysis and staring at price right now and not even being in an entry, then that's fucked up. Because you're getting stressed over nothing, really, essentially. We haven't even taken a position yet, so what's the stress? And we just like to scalp to secure some profit in positions and then extend to intraday trades and swing trades. We do a lot of higher time frame analysis. You guys can check it out on the YouTube channel too, anytime. Feel me? Yeah, if you guys got any charts, if you guys got any analysis. I thought you said, Gab, I thought you said AUDSD was going to be the best sell or something before, didn't you? Yeah, MIM, you can send it over if you want. Now, while being in a trade, yo, Alex, you seem like you don't know how to trade worth shit. I'm not trying to be rude. The way you talk, you seem like you're fucking scared of the markets, man. And that usually comes from a lack of knowledge. So I can understand, like, you don't seem like you have too much experience, in my opinion, or an understanding of the fundamental side or anything on the economic side. And because of this, it seems like you have a lot of fear over some generic like rumors regarding the market. You know what I mean? Which usually just comes from ignorance. You can. The same way you have risk involved on a swing trade, you have the same risk involved on any other trade as well. I'm telling you because you've lost lots of money with scalping. Well, I don't know how you're scalping, right? All right, we're coming down to 1855. Let's see if we break below. Let's actually wait for the candle to close. It looks like we're breaking below. 3 seconds for the candle to close. Obviously, don't enter nothing yet. We need to wait for the candle to close. It closed pretty much on the level. If we get a bullish close above, that looks a lot better. How is this, man? Nice AJ trade. I'll check it out. Otherwise, we're going to get our deeper pullback for our higher risk, higher reward buys. So let's actually wait for the candles to close right now. It's looking quite bearish, like it's still slowly creeping down. I didn't see you guys send anything. I usually just do historical analysis to backtest. I didn't see any trading view charts sent. Sorry in the chat. See how price is reacting here. I'm waiting to see if we continue to close below 1855 and have higher probabilities for a retest of the lower time frame bullish structure for buys, or if this was just a little quick just price playing around and we pop back above our key level and come above these candle bodies again to start taking some buy scalps up from this key level. So I'm just waiting for some candle closures above the key level. And some confirms that sellers are exiting positions, buyers are jumping in with some bullish price action. Because right now we're just staying below the key level. It's not a good buy entry just yet. And if it stays below the key level, we'll have higher probability of a pullback as well, okay? EU vaccine negotiator says EU plans to launch tender procedure for Valneva COVID vaccine. What's this, a new COVID vaccine now? GJ still fucking ranging. Nothing significant to execute on just yet. EURUSD, nothing significant to execute on just yet. US30, fairly slow and stagnant. We don't have any crazy high volatility headlines. Economic events for the night for fairly quiet. Yeah, you guys can send your charts. Apparently links don't send in the YouTube chat. I've never had anybody send a chart before, so you guys have to walk me through how I can open up your guys' charts. But yeah, I'll do. As the markets are fairly slow right now and stagnant, we might as well review people's charts, you know, or trade ideas or analysis you guys got. So you guys tell me. So MIM, what do I do with this that you just sent? Like just saw replace one of these here, right here. The fuck, I do right? What am I doing wrong, guys? X? The fuck you guys talking about? TradingView.com? Yeah, once I see how to pull up these charts. Camera button. No, these guys are sending some end of the code links right here. This guy sent this link. Oh, it's a private link? Is that why? Somebody else send a chart. Let's test it out. If you have an analysis or chart you want to share. This one worked. Somebody just sent. This one worked. Yeah, yours doesn't work even with the X. MIM. Somebody else said one. This one worked too. Yeah, sorry. MIM, it's just your chart, yo. It's your chart. Yeah, damn. Let me try yours. Yeah, okay. So yeah, you guys just send those codes, then I can open it just with the X. All right, I got you guys. Yeah, all your guys' charts works. It's just that one guy, that MIM guy. You have to send a better link. Gold, no confirms to buy gold yet. It looks like we're gonna get our deeper pullback still. We're breaking below the key level. We didn't get that support formed, like especially when we saw the 1 minute price action. So we're still being patient and waiting. GJ just ranging 5 pips, extremely messy. We have Bank of England Bailey speaking right now actively. So if he brings some optimism, we can see Bank of England Bailey speaker here. We have some vaccine headlines, and this dickhead speaking. He's not saying anything too much yet, but we're still waiting for the break above 0.200 and the same trade ideas or the pullback to 141 flat. Euro USD, no execution points just yet. US 30, we're only taking buys above 31,150 or break below 31,000. If you guys, so as we're patiently waiting for those trades, if you guys want me to recap any of your charts or analysis, you guys can send a little code here. All right, so what we got going on? GJ. So, Mr. Mim, you are saying, we know you understand that price is in bullish market structure, but you do not see any continuation potential above these highs as there is a minor low on the structure. You're waiting for London Open right now, and if there's any negativity with the pound, you're looking to repeat this play pretty much of a failure to break the previous highs and run these sells down. You saw that obviously we were running this corrective structure. We had a break of this structure. We have a double top and rejection at 141.2. I agree. I like this analysis. This, like we were talking about at 141.2, would be the high risk sells. But compared to the analysis you sent, if you're looking to target 140.5, even the safe entries like we're talking about at the confirm, like for example, if you confirm the exhaustion at these highs, and then we break below these candle body lows and break and retest below 141, this down to 140.5 looks like a favorable piece. But as we start to make our way down, watch the reactions at 140.8. But yes, I agree that if we fail to break those same previous intraday highs, if we break this bullish lower time frame structure and below 141 flat, that is a nice intraday trade to take down for a GJ pullback to play the sells down. But as of right now, we're getting some reaction and failure to break 141.2, but we are just in this 10-15 pip range, ranging right now and still respecting bullish structure. So this is why this would be a high risk entry area, but you don't have as many confirms just yet. It's higher risk, higher reward potential, but you don't have as many confirms because as long as we maintain this bullish market structure, we have to validate this as buyer side liquidity, and we could still get a breakout to the upside. So I like your analysis. It makes sense, but the safest sells would be below 141 flat. We have the Bank of England Bailey speaking right now, and he is talking about potential recovery in economic activity. And we still haven't broken these candle body lows just yet. But yeah, your analysis makes sense. Safest sells below 141 would be best for what you're looking for. But like you said in your analysis, we're still respecting the bullish market structure. Okay, let's watch gold here too, guys. And I'll go back to that second. These sellers are starting to slow down here a bit on gold. Let's watch if we break back above 1855.5 and create a support above the key level, or a nice bullish candle close above the key level. But we still need to come above the key level and show more bullish price action in sellers exiting positions. Otherwise, we're just going to continue to slow down. Otherwise, we're going to continue to creep down and have that deeper pullback to retest this bullish market structure, okay? Yes, if we enter an economic recovery stage from a macro perspective and see more fundamental rebounding in overall economies, there is higher potential that gold will see a stronger sell off right back down to like the 1600s, 1700s. Okay. GJ's raging right now, nothing significant. There's nothing significant to execute on yet as per a scalp or intraday trade, which is fine. Volume and volatility is fairly slow through London session so far. We don't want to rush. We don't want to rush any entries. We're still going to wait for confirms at our predetermined entry points that we already did analysis on. Let's just keep it on GJ for now, just in case we do get the breakout above 0.200 or the potential sell play. And just because we have the Bank of England Bailey speaking right now, so if he keeps bringing some short-term optimism, that could help support a squeeze up we can take. And gold, we need to come above the key level here. We're starting to see a little minor order block, but we need to come above the key level to start taking buy scalps up, okay? EURUSD, nothing significant. Waiting for either reaction at this low point or retest above key level. Global equities, they're showing a bit of exhaustion. Overall, still bullish. Asian markets ran a lot more bullish. Dollar still holding some short-term strength, but overall higher time frames, very bearish though. Just holding some short-term intraday strength from its 6-year lows, and sellers exiting positions and buyers jumping in. Did you sell the pullback, Reggie, or something? From when we were saying we have a pullback potential? Yeah, it's just pulling back. Okay, let's see here. I don't want to say shit. I don't want to jinx GJ. All right, we'll just let it do its thing. You guys are watching it. 0.200 above. We'll get the breakout. We see Bank of England Bailey still speaking. US30, we're starting to break below the minor bullish structure, but again, we're still in this range of about 100 points. Gold, keep eye on gold too. And now I'm gonna analyze the next guy's chart. Those same trade ideas still stand, right? Vikram, anybody in the private chat wants to send a chart? Anybody else in the YouTube chat wants to send a chart? Go for it. Okay, what is this? It's a 1-minute chart? If this is the 1-minute chart, then this isn't enough price information to identify market structure. Like, to me, this is not a wedge pattern. You just have price in this liquidity zone in range while overall structure is still bullish. So I wouldn't want to necessarily start jumping in sells. Like, you probably might have even started to jump in sells a couple of minutes ago when we just went to retest the bottom of that range low, right? We still might get the break above 0.200, which we're keeping an eye on. And overall, we just have GJ in this range where overall higher time frame structure is still bullish. I would only take GJ sells below 141 flat. Okay? Otherwise, we're looking for the break above 0.200 and some bullish candle closes above for either breakout entries or the breakout and retest. And we are coming towards an hourly candle close right now in 3 minutes. So expect the next hourly candle to make a potential lower wick and grab liquidity, and then we'll watch it accordingly. But with what you're identifying here, especially as it's just on the 1 minute chart, very zoomed in, this isn't enough price information to say this is market structure. I personally, in my opinion, am more looking at it as a consolidation zone between these candle body highs and lows where we're really seeing the reactions. Right? Yeah, no problem. Bank of England, Governor Bailey still speaking. New hourly candles in a couple of minutes here. Keep an eye on gold and GJ for those trade ideas, quick squeezes we're looking for. Gold looks a bit more promising, especially if the next hour just makes a quick lower wick and then we flip bullish for that squeeze up. Unless you guys already jumped in entries when I was saying it, but we still have the new hour anyways. And then be mindful of the 4-hour candle closes and Asian session close at 5 a.m. Eastern. I didn't go to the washroom before. Now I actually have to go to the washroom. So give me a second here. Watch GJ here in this hourly close. If we get a close above 0.200, it would be ideal. We still have, even though we were getting some of this exhaustion at 0.200, we still didn't break the lows, right? I can't hold it, man. I gotta go to the washroom. Fuck Monty. Tell Monty go fuck himself if he's watching me right now. Monty's about to watch an ad. Monty's about to watch a broker ad that he's not an affiliate with. No, I'm kidding. I love you, Monty. How's it going, guys? We're just trying to catch these GJ buys right now above 0.200 for a quick 10 to 20 pip squeeze on the new hourly candle. And we're trying to catch gold buys in the new hourly candle. But I gotta go to the washroom quick. Oh, you guys are doing a raid, eh? I was about to raid you. I was about to raid you, my friend. How's it going? How you guys doing? Not much going on for GJ tonight, eh? London session's been fairly quiet. But the same trade idea is still gonna stand. Casey, can I go through EJ? Yeah, as soon as I come back from the washroom, we'll do an EJ breakdown from like we'll go from the 4-hour down. Right? Yes. Okay, so these hourly candles just opened up. These are the new hourly candles. We had at least a bullish candle close above 0.200. It looks like we're going to get our squeeze to the upside if we remain above 0.200. This hourly candle on gold, the only thing is we want our buy squeeze, but this hourly candle doesn't have a lower wick yet. So I can see it come down to make its lower wick first and possibly retest these candle body lows and then pop back above. But at least let that hourly candle create its lower wick. And then we're still in that potential short-term bullish bias on gold, looking for those retest entry points for buys, all right? I just really got to take a leak. Monty rated the stream at the worst time. But the gold buy bias for the retest of 1855 still valid if the hourly creates that lower wick and fails to break lower, of course. GJ, we're getting the retest of 0.200 and that hourly wick created as well, so keep an eye on that. And the same trade ideas still stand. Euro USD, we are not going to touch that until we break out of this range. US30, nothing significant just yet. And if anybody else wants to send a chart to analyze, I'm going to do that when I come back, and we're going to look at EJ. Hey guys, I'm JJ from Monty's stream, and I like to go camping. Yeah, you sound like you're from Monty's stream. Oh man, I was kidding, bro. I love you guys. Monty's my boy. I was gonna raid Monty because I know he takes his coffee break soon. I know Monty was watching GJ Range saying with the elevator music playing, saying, "Well, you know, guys, gotta focus on the high time frame here. You know, let me grab my tea." No, I'm kidding. I love Monty. All right, so EJ. Bank of England Bailey's. He looked like he stopped speaking. He was bringing a little bit of short-term optimism, but it still wasn't enough to really have a clean break above 0.200 yet. We still don't have any economic events to bring any volume or volatility until New York session. And these key fundamental points still stand. Right? Don't forget when the markets are ranging, don't fight the market. All we can do, think of the market as Mike Tyson, right? You can't go 12 rounds with Mike Tyson. You might be able to jump in the market, jump in the ring, and get a few jabs at him and get out. But you can't stay in the ring with Mike Tyson too long. You'll get knocked the fuck out. So think about that when you're trying to look for an entry point or you're trying to stay in the markets too long, especially when it's ranging. Don't stress out over that. And remember, our number one focus, let me give you guys a little seizure, a little morning seizure. Our number one focus is protecting our capital. So remember your mental reminders and to stay as emotionally neutral as possible. And keep an eye on our GJ buys and potential gold buys. Hopefully we can get at least 10 to 30 pips on those squeezes we're looking for. If you guys got entries. Now I gotta take a piss before we look at EJ. Actually, Bailey's still speaking. Look at watch Bailey speaking to the left here. Shit. Come back. Yeah, we're gonna after this, we're gonna go back to raid. We're gonna go back to raid Monty stream as well. But while I'm peeing, if the GJ buys and gold buys play out, you guys gotta like the stream for the scalp. I'll be back in a second. You guys. All right, we're back. You guys listen to me piss? Fucking creepy ass Zoom chat, man. All right, anyways, so let's do some Euro JPY analysis here. Thank you guys. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the raid from Monty. Everybody also go like and subscribe to Monty and like his stream. We were literally just talking about like let's go check out what this guy's doing. But anyways, so Euro JPY, we're not gonna go too crazy in depth because very similar to our other risk currency versus safe haven pairs, on the higher time frames, it's not hard to see how bullish Euro JPY is, printing new highs by buyers and overall holding very macro higher time frame bullish market structure. Okay, so that's the first thing we want to understand. The second thing we want to understand is that the secondary in this pair, the Japanese yen, has been relatively flat overall as markets have been optimistic. One sec before we jump into that. It looks like gold's going to make that deeper lower wick first. So be patient on waiting for gold. Don't take any entries yet. GJ, same idea, still ranging, didn't break this previous 1 minute high. Don't take any entries yet. US30, nothing. GU, nothing. Nothing else going on really yet. So let gold create that lower wick, then have a nice support above the key level. And same thing with GJ above 0.200. But anyways, Euro JPY. So we can understand obviously the higher time frames are bullish. The secondary in this pair is the Japanese yen, which as a safe haven currency has been a lot more bearish. When you're looking at European equities in the stock market, you can see overall how bullish German stocks, European stocks overall have been since after the post-COVID crash, similar to global stock markets around the world, which you can see a similar pattern. So what we can identify here right now is that, yes, we're starting to get some exhaustion, but all of this, even though we have this strong consolidation in range, is buyer side liquidity and buyer side order flow as long as we maintain the bullish market structure. On the hourly and 4 hour, we can also start to see a support being formed after buyers created this new high, getting a pullback in correction of some of this upside move here. So when we start to zoom down the time frames and on the lower time frame, we're going to be able to understand that this current price point is a significant area of interest. Just when we're looking at EJ on the 4 hour here, and as we're making an actively live support, right, you can see the multiple hours of rejection because this is the 4 hour chart, and obviously that's going to be better highlighted. But EJ is currently in a corrective stage, which is going to be identified on the lower time frame. So obviously this support is better identified on the hourly, and on the 1 minute you're going to see the amount of rejections. But currently EJ is in this bearish market structure and corrective pullback stage, where if you want to start taking buys back up to the previous highs, you have to wait for this pullback stage and corrective structure to show a shift in buyer strength, right? And how do you identify that? By going down to the lower time frame. So now I'm going to be able to identify this corrective structure the best on the lower time frame. You can see here, just from this peak sell point, if I go straight across, even though the higher time frames are bearish, even though the higher time frames are bullish, even though Euro JPY has printed new highs, we can't deny that for an intraday time period and on the lower time frame for like the last period of almost 3 days, sellers have been in control here, right? We've seen more sellers' impulsive moves, pullbacks, and lows being created. Now here, we're starting to get our first signs of sellers' exhaustion. This is not enough confirms to start taking Euro JPY buys just yet. We would need to break above these 1 minute highs and first fail to break these lows, then break above the 1 minute highs and break above this bearish market structure to show us more buyers momentum. And then this shows us that pullback phase is coming to an end and buyers are back in control, and we can take a break and retest out of that structure for buys all the way back up to the previous highs created. Otherwise, we can't deny on the lower time frame right now that sellers are in control on Euro JPY with this market structure. So if we fail to break above this bearish market structure, and if we fail to break above these 1 minute highs in price sensitivity area where we've seen buyers exit out positions multiple times, and we break these candle body lows, we can validate this as continued sell side liquidity and order flow for another impulsive squeeze to the downside, and then continue to extend this bearish market structure. All right. So my best advice for anybody looking to trade EJ for scalping or for an intraday trade is, if you're looking for EJ buys, wait for the validation of sellers' exhaustion and failures to break lows and a support created. Wait for a shift in the bearish market structure and a break out of the bearish market structure, which shows more buyer order flow in the market and more buyer momentum, and a shift in the price action as well with a break above these 1 minute highs. And then you could take safer buys up to the top. Okay. Otherwise, if we continue to respect this bearish market structure, you can take easy safe sells below 126.5. All right. Does that make sense? Does that make sense for Euro JPY for everybody? So yes, higher time frames are bullish. Yes, intradays are bullish, but we can see clearly that buyers are exiting positions after creating new highs, and we are currently in a corrective and pullback stage. So you don't want to start guessing where support is being formed until we get a shift in this lower time frame structure. So if we continue to respect this structure, you can take sells below 126.5, but otherwise you can only take the buys above 120. What? Oh shit, anybody catch the gold buys we're looking for at the key level? We didn't break below. We came and created a support right on it. Quick squeeze, but let's see what happens. And GJ has only gone up 10 pips so far for the 0.200 squeeze. Nothing. I thought you guys were saying GJ like went up 40 pips, man. I guess it's still a nice scalp. It's still a nice 10 pip scalp. We still want, like in gold as well, we still want more confirms of support being formed and the range back up to revisit these 1 minute highs. But at least we got something. 10 pips so far at least, you know what I mean? Euro USD, nothing significant just yet. Bank of England, and like we were talking about, Bank of England's Bailey was bringing that little short-term optimism, okay? So he was talking about potential signs of economic recovery as we were reading the headlines. He was talking about potential signs of job growth and progression after Brexit. So hopefully that holds out and we continue this squeeze on gold. We continue the squeeze on GJ, and let's just watch gold accordingly. If we stay above the key level, keep a close eye on that. Euro USD isn't giving us anything too significant. US30 is still respecting above key level and bullish structure, and we can take the squeezes if we come above 31,150. 15 pips now on GJ. All right, boys, let's go. All right, let's get it. We didn't get our high risk, high reward buys at 141 retest, but we got the 140. We got the 141.200 finally. And does that make sense to everybody about how we were talking about that? Even though GJ was ranging, this was buyer side liquidity generating in the market, where we just had to patiently wait for the squeeze to the upside. Get squeezed. I like that, John Lou. Get squeezed. It would be ideal if we head up to 0.500. That would be ideal to the next psychological price level. But let's watch this next 15-minute candle accordingly, and let's not expect too much out of the market. So even though you got this potential scalp for 10-15 pips, hold runners risk free, secure some partials so you at least have some profit, because at the end of the day, with how volume and volatility has been, we have had the markets ranging. So if we have an aggressive pullback, don't be surprised. All right. But that squeeze was nice. We're still respecting bullish structure. We finally broke above 0.200 and had that little minor break and retest on the 1 minute. We didn't break these candle body lows. We assumed this was buyer side liquidity as we didn't have a shift in the market structure. The only trade I took was I was in Bitcoin from yesterday. I was just holding Bitcoin buys from the dip that happened. I didn't take any trade, and I was just practicing patience, like withholding that. But I exited that out at the previous intraday highs. I wonder what it's doing right now. It's still at the same point where I exited. But I just took Bitcoin buys after it did that aggressive dip. But that was from like that was from like yesterday. One position was from yesterday. I didn't take any scalps tonight. I honestly was looking to take GJ but missed it. I missed the entry when I was breaking down EJ, which is all good because I caught Bitcoin earlier. So what's going on in the chat? Got some more trolls and shit? Don't worry, man. Yeah, we're looking to target 0.500 on Okay, so this is what we got, right? Post London and pre-London pullback. We got the pullbacks, but it didn't go to our high risk, high reward buy area. Okay? Instead, we had a consolidation phase in liquidity zone or order block formed that did not break structure. So we assumed it as buy side liquidity. We were just waiting for the breakout. We broke and retested above 0.2. We're looking to run to the next range to 0.500 for GJ buyers to create new highs, which is like where we're going to now. It's exactly what we said for safe buys at the start of the webinar. We just had to patiently wait for it. Gold is still active as well if you guys are in your gold buys from the 1855 retest. You're and 20 pips profit on gold as well. So can we get a W in the chat for GJ and a nice W in the chat for gold? GJ's almost straight to our 0.500 target here. And gold, we got 20 pips at least, man. At least we got something. You know what I mean? There's a little bust. There's a little bust of rhymes, bust a nut. I'll read the YouTube chats in a second, right? One sec. The best entry on GJ. Oh, 0.500 on the fucking. Why am I yelling when it's so late? 0.5. We do it big here, baby. We do it big. I told you guys about that optimism from fucking Bank of England's Bailey, man. I was trying to tell you guys. Anyways, yeah, okay. What I want to confirm is, does the analysis make a sense? Does the analysis make sense on GJ of why we were in a buy bias, why we were patiently waiting for the buys, why we were looking for buys, and what we needed for the buys? And if you left risk-free runners, they ran the 30 pip range. And we used the live headlines to our advantage. We used the live news terminal of noticing Bank of England Bailey speaking of the economic rebound, price action, and market structure. And this looks like it's going to keep fucking going, man. So now, okay. Okay, now what we want to understand is if you guys are holding trades still, and if you are looking to trade New York, is what we can do now is what, guys? Slow down. What can we do now? How can we further capitalize on this? We were only adapting to GJ sells if we had these confirms. Otherwise, we were looking for high risk, high reward buys here or buys here. Very simple. Okay, so now what we're going to do is see this lower time frame bullish market structure that we identified. We are going to extend this out. And now for the new 4-hour candle and for New York session, we're looking for pullbacks and retests of our psychological price levels and this bullish market structure and continuing to play that. All right. So gold 30 pips. Oh, why is it so big? If you wanted to see any of the analysis, you can just rewind this webinar. Gold, we were waiting for pullbacks to key levels, waiting for a support to be formed and noticing sellers exhausting. So remember I was showing you guys that sellers were first exhausting here, but we didn't want to start rushing into entries too early. But you're seeing the mix of bullish and bearish candles, and then we popped above the key level and then had these multiple rejections at the key level for entries to take that 30 pip squeeze to the upside. And GJ analysis ran well. US30, nothing significant yet. GU, let's watch if we break above the structure. Dollar's fading out its strength, which is good to see. That market optimism is looking stronger. Looking that dollar's fading out that strength, especially if the US dollar breaks below these previous lows. Who is here? Who is here for the start of the webinar? Where we did this analysis, right? So do you understand that once you start doing the analysis ahead of time and you pre-plan these ideas, that all you have to do is patiently wait and then just execute? You get what I'm saying? It's not like we were confused about what's happening. It's not like we were shifting biases. It's not like we were taking random trades, impulsive entries. We had our predetermined analysis, right? We had our trade ideas set that we were looking for, areas of interest that we were looking for. We were calmly watching headlines. We were watching price action. We were waiting for the execution points. And it's not anything crazy, but at least you got 30 pips if you took gold. You got 30 pips if you took GJ. And I even told you guys, hey, it looks like even though we're getting some rejection here or exhaustion, this is still buyer side liquidity because we're not breaking these candle body lows. This is just forming an order block. And do you see how once you have the order block formed in consolidation zone, once you break out, you get a squeeze that's correlated to the size of the order block? Really, really rewind what I just said and take that in. Yes, we had the consolidation and it was annoying to deal with. But once you patiently waited for that breakout and retest, and we had optimistic comments from Bank of England's Bailey, for anybody who just tuned into the webinar, our primary bias on GJ was buys, and you could always rewatch this webinar because we did our analysis at 1:30. This analysis we were looking for on GJ buys was done 4 hours ago. You know what I mean? And this is like it has the DVR mode activated, so meaning you can always rewind it. So you could just always rewatch it. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting tired of talking. I'm not to be rude. I'm just getting tired of talking. Yeah, but I hope everybody enjoys the streams, likes how I hope you guys enjoy my view of the markets, or how I like to dissect the markets using investor behavior, market optimism or fear, fundamentals, technicals, price action. And if you guys enjoy it, make sure you send a like, you share this stream around, you post it on your social media. To subscribe and share and like, it's all free to do, right? And these streams is a ton of free value as well. Some guy said he just made 1K, and this is just a free stream, you know? Capital Hungry private channel. Yeah, like these Zoom sessions, I mean, these um, YouTube streams, we do it twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But in the Capital Hungry private channel, there's a lot more offered for the paid members. The people in the private channel pay $100 a month. So they pay roughly $3 a day. And we do these types of sessions every single day. There's market update webinars, there's weekly recap sessions. You get access to this news terminal. You get access to like the trading room where you get key level price alerts. You know what I mean? You get session reminder alerts, other members sharing trades. There's too much to talk about. You get access to like 50 plus educational webinars. For anybody who is interested in joining the paid service, first make sure you go through all of my free stuff and do your due diligence. So you have the Capital Hungry Twitter, which is just post headlines throughout the day. It doesn't post as many headlines or as much information as the news terminal. That's for paying members and for myself, but it's still a great free resource. Even Forex Factory, they source a lot of their news from the Capital Hungry Twitter. They'd be reposting these tweets. You have the Capital Hungry YouTube channel, which besides these live streams, which are 4 hours long and all have tons of value, you have these fundamental and technical analysis breakdowns across pairs. You have all these psychology webinars, technical webinars, fundamental webinars across different topics, across different pairs. And you have the Capital Hungry free Telegram analysis chat that's been running for like over a year and a half. And if you want more, then you can join the Capital Hungry private channel where you can watch this introduction video to see everything that's offered in the private channel. But any of the members will tell you about all this. It's too much to talk about. There's like 50 plus educational webinars that aren't on my YouTube across different topics. There's like 300 plus past webinars. There's the sessions that we do every single day. There's the weekly recaps. There's the market updates. There's the higher time frame analysis. There's just like the messages and interaction in the chat. There's too much shit to talk about. But that Capital Hungry private channel, the intake is only open for 50 more members. Once I hit 400 or 450 members max, I close off the signups, because once you have too many members in a chat, it can become very distracting. It can take away from the productivity, and it takes away from my trading balance as well, because it becomes way too distracting for me because I run the service alone. So once there's only room for about 50 more people. Once we fill those spots, then the private channel closes and nobody can join for like till months later when a bunch of people leave, if anybody does leave, right? But people come and go all the time. I have it based on a monthly subscription for that purpose, to give people that freedom. But yeah, so for anybody who is looking, gold's still going as well if you guys are holding gold. So for anybody who is looking to join the Capital Hungry private channel, now the signups are open, but we've already had like 30 signups within the first day, and there's only like probably 30 to 50 more spots, and then we're closing the signups. But these will still be going on twice a week. US30, with how optimistic markets are looking and how UK equities and global equities are still quite bullish, it's looking like, and how the US dollar is bearish, it's looking like we're going to get our US30 buys shortly as well over the next 30 minutes. Just keep in mind that we have 4 hour candles closing in the next 28 minutes, and we have Asian session close in the next 28 minutes. So just keep that in mind. And if you're trading New York, keep in mind these economic events you guys will see on your screen, as well as some of these key fundamental points that we were focusing on. Some stream reminders if you guys want to contact me if you want more information. Your mental reminders. Remember, yes, we're here to do analysis, provide value, and attempt to make money. But as traders, we have to focus on protecting our capital, following good risk management principles, and staying as emotionally neutral as possible. So remember, yes, you might have taken this win on gold or GJ, but don't let yourself get greedy. Don't let yourself get seduced by the profits and end up trading with a dopamine high and rush, because you'll end up over trading or over leveraging and burning your profits. Wait for the next high probability setup and attack as emotionally neutral as possible. GJ, it would be ideal for the 4 hour candle if we did get a deep pullback to 141.2. But when we zoom out and look at the price action and the fact that we're finally getting a breakout of these previous intraday highs, it looks like the following 4 hour candle it's just going to create a quick lower wick, possibly at 0.500, and then continue up for another squeeze to like 141.8, 142. Especially the fact that we haven't broken these highs since late December. And we're finally, after the fourth attempt now, with enough buyer order flow in the market and with that market optimism, seeing that break above. We're still seeing Bank of England Bailey now talking about some political uncertainty regarding the UK and Scotland, but it's still looking bullish with the price action, the market structure, the optimism as well. So with these 4 hour candles closing in 25 minutes, if it closes fairly bullish, if you want to see my if you guys want to see my full view recently on gold and GJ, Jurgen, you can watch this GJ fundamental technical analysis and the gold fundamental technical analysis, both 30-minute webinars starting from like the 3 month chart, yearly chart, all the way down to the 1 hour chart for intraday and higher time frame analysis. And you can also rewind this webinar itself. Okay. I'm going to end the stream in about 30 minutes at Asian session close, and then the next one will be on Thursday. No problem, Neil. Yeah, GJ squeeze was nice. All right. If you guys don't mind now, just as we're coming towards Asian session close, we've already done our analysis across 6 pairs. We've already analyzed some real-time headlines and used it to our advantage. We've broken down price action and market structure. We're coming towards Asian session close with London starting to slow down a bit now. I'm just going to go grab some water and quickly make a snack here. Quickly make an omelet, and I will be back in exactly 10 minutes at 4:45. All right. And the same trade idea, same analysis still stands. We're just going to be observing price action. Let's watch the reactions at the 0.500 psychological price level on the dot, which is right here, 0.500. If we get the retest there and failure to break for another scalp squeeze to the upside. The good thing is we can extend this bullish market structure. We finally did break above this order block, and GJ at least has buyers print new intraday highs when we're looking at like the higher time frame charts. So that is good that buyers are still continuing to chug along and our bias is holding. Mim, you didn't take those sells, right? You understand why I was warning you about the sells? Did you capitalize and take the buys? MIM, Mr. Mim? Yeah, no problem, sir. That's why I said you don't want to be like a hero and try to guess tops for no reason, you know? But all right, just watch your headlines to the left side of the screen, and I will be right back. Yeah, I didn't catch that. I was in a Bitcoin trade. After I was back testing Bitcoin 1 minute. That was a nice little quick 0.500 retest. Hey, what the hell? Coming towards Asian session close and the hourly close. GJ retested 0.500. Risk free buy still running. Gold buy still running. W for gold if you guys still holding gold. Almost 50 pips now for those gold buys. 1855. There's no real reason to close it, as we didn't like come back to the entry, of course, and we are at least looking to target these previous 1 minute highs, right? Which we're approaching now. If we break above that, we're gonna go to 64, then just watch price action accordingly. For you guys that are in buys, I hope it flies. You know what I mean? Hope it flies. Still active, like we said. It's just set risk free. This was nice though, eh? As we started to identify the sellers slowing down in the exhaustion, and we just waited for that little break in the candle closures above the key level. Even if you entered like above a few pips above, you still got at least 50 pips. Just watch the reactions here now. It's just in case you see an aggressive pullback, because we're reacting at these previous 1 minute highs on the dot. So just be cautious of that. Doesn't mean close your trade, but obviously if you see aggressive pullback, be aware of that. GJ, the 0.200 buys ran 40 pips. Gold buys ran 50 pips. Stream's coming to an end shortly. We're just reviewing some of the analysis and trades that were taken. Asian session closed in 10 minutes. Yeah, there's not much else to talk about there. Gold's still running. New 4-hour candles and Asian session close coming toward pre-New York hours. Higher potential for a pullback. If you're trading New York, just be aware of some of the economic data, of course, through New York session. Shared on the screen there. Obviously, the private chat, you guys got like the economic events report. We still have all of our key fundamental points that we were focusing on and still very relevant and active. Don't forget your mental reminders. And for GJ, it would be ideal if we have a slow sort of pullback phase down to 141.2 for better entries. But with this impulsive upside move and the bullish price action breaking above previous highs, if for the new 4-hour candle, we just create a lower time frame support and order block at 0.500 psychological price level, I would also take those buys right back up. Gold still active as well, so these trades are standing where if we break above these 1 minute highs and also break above medium term 1864, we're looking to take those breakout buys and continue extending these 1855 buys. EJ looked like it was going to break out of structure, but nothing significant yet. I would only be taking EURUJPY sells with continued to failures to break bear structure and coming below 126.5 flat key level, which is also where this 1 minute support is being formed. Dollar's fading out a lot of that strength, looking like it's going to continue bearish. Global stock markets are still quite bullish. We might also get our US30 buy squeeze like I was talking about. W's in the chat for gold if you're holding your trade 80 pips, 70 pips with that little squeeze. Played out nice. And why sessions? The sessions we do in the private chat is just dependent on what the members want. So usually it's London, but every once in a while I'll do New York just to give a variety and to help other people out. But primarily I send out a poll and let people vote themselves. GJ also continuing up. Damn, GJ going up to 0.800. I don't even have the psychological price level maps out up to the upside. 0.800, 142, next key level, 142 flat. No problem. No problem, bro. I'll see you guys on Thursday too. We'll catch some more W's. Hopefully you guys got to make some money either off GJ or gold. We didn't really see anything too appealing on the other pairs. Refugees. Pull back on GJ before New York session. Pull back on GJ before New York. Yeah, still very possible. It just corrected that quick upside move. Like it's obviously the bulls are still holding. I would be ideal for the new 4 hour candle and for pre New York hours to get a pullback to retest structure and more buyers in the market. But I'm watching 0.500 and 0.200. Beautiful session. Honestly, the content you give for free is better than some people's paid ones. Yeah, man, no problem. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. We're seeing the headlines to the left. There's headlines are even starting to slow down. Just getting some headlines about some off countries here like Indonesia. More vaccine headlines. Those Bank of England Bailey headlines we already read. Yeah, usually with most brokers, like a Wanda I use as like a guide, closes at around 5 a.m. Eastern, which is the same time as like Asian market close. Damn, nice trades, Antoine. Until what time will this live stream go? U.S. Open, bro. What do you think I am? A free like? Want me to stream 12 hours? Who is this guy? Maki Senju. I'm currently paying for your subscription. All they talk about is Wyckoff with a very low win rate. The fuck is what? Oh, Wyckoff theory or whatever. That was. Why would you come into the chat under a fake profile, under a fake alias, after watching the stream for 4 hours, after we clearly don't talk about Wyckoff on the stream, after I just give analysis to help everyone make money on GJ and gold, and then you say you're paying for my service and all we do is talk about Wyckoff? Like, bro, like, how bored are you in your life with with so much opportunity available in this world? How? Oh, another service? Oh, which news channel is streaming? This is a Reuters terminal, news terminal. Sorry, bro. I'm used to dealing with a lot of I'm used to dealing with a lot of trolls most of the time in the chats. I was like, yo, we don't even talk about Wyckoff. My bad. Maki Sanju, I thought you were just a troll. I apologize. You're not a troll. That was me jumping to conclusions. That was an impulse. That was an impulse entry and decision on you, which is wrong. It was a bad. What's the group, if you don't mind me asking? Are they like a well-known group or no? Or like sort of, you know what I mean? Like on social media or something? Like what made you want to join them or join this group? Like was it like something they were advertising or Wyckoff is a no, Wyckoff is a theory about the markets by some guy named fucking Wyckoff. Wyckoff is like a theory to analyze the markets technically. I read a little bit about it, like distribute. It's just another way to talk about the markets. It can be a bit confusing, obviously. You know what happened to US30, man. Bro, US30 is not like US30 is not doing much right now. It's Asian session closed. Why are you coming in here so aggressive at Asian session close? Fucking spamming US30. 40 like risk versus reward of 40, like a 40 to 1 risk versus reward. Holy shit. That's crazy. Like showing a 1 to 40 trades like the fuck, man? No, who the fuck's got that's ridiculous. Paid my child support money tonight. Let me go wake my baby mama. This guy's oh shit. Yeah, don't be shy if you guys want to send any. Don't be shy. If you guys want to send any charts in the chat, like you know how you can send that trading view code, you guys can send those. Or on the Thursday stream, we're gonna be closing off the stream shortly. I'm just watching a few of these headlines towards Asian session close. We have another Bank of England speaker. This guy's name is Broadbent. Sounds like a fucking dickhead, yo. Bank of England's Broadbent. He's not saying much. Trump's administration plans to speed up vaccinations. Bank of England's Broadbent says spending by today's consumers has been part sustained. And I fucking hate these people, man. I hate these politicians and finance fuckers. Slowly making our way up to 0.800, slowly chugging up there. These buys played out great and easily ran to the 0.500 range. Like this smashed the. If you were at the start of the webinar and you just waited for this, and then you set a 30 like your 30 pip TP, you would have got that smashed. And then if you left any runners risk free, they're still good. Gold's still active as well. Obviously, just Asian session close coming towards later, and London session markets are starting to slow down a bit. Sorry, you didn't get what channel I said? What channel was I talking about? What the fuck was I talking? I was just talking about the Capital Hungry YouTube channel. The Capital Hungry Twitter. Twitter.com/capital underscore hungry. Capital Hungry YouTube, the one you guys are currently on, watching this live stream. you know how how many people be on the live stream in the comments saying, "What's your YouTube page?" And I'm just like, "What the fuck? Like, what? How are you watching this?" Like, I've seen it. You guys would be surprised. The Capital Hungry free Telegram analysis chat. Everything else, like these hundreds and hundreds of other webinars, all like the news terminal, everything else is for the private channel. If you want to join the private channel, that is up to you. You can first go through all of the free resources I have, the dozens and dozens of webinars across different topics. You can go browse the free analysis channel. You can go through the Capital Hungry Twitter. And then if you want more, you can go watch the Capital Hungry introduction video and then subscribe to the private channel, which is a month-by-month payment plan service. But I only keep a set amount of members in the private channel to keep the environment as productive as possible, and so I don't get too distracted between my personal trading, life, and everything else, because I run Capital Hungry alone. So we opened up the signups just last week. We opened up the signups on Friday, and we've already had, I think, 20 to 40 signups, and there's only room for about 40 to 60 more. So once we fill that membership limit, I'm going to close up the signups, and you won't be able to join until months later. We do another intake, or when people leave, people come and go all the time, because there's people from all over the world, different countries, different age, backgrounds, lifestyles, finances within the group, right? So can you do an intraday vid on the 1 hour, no scalping? Yeah, we have like educational videos on the intraday time frame. Or like you can just watch, like, you're in the private chat, you can just watch these. Like we just did the intraday on UCAD still here, which is like on the 4 hour chart for intraday analysis, and how we did it. We got it here for EURUSD, GJ gold. I'm doing one on AUD USD and oil this week as well, and all the past breakdowns and stuff like that too. But like the market structure webinars, if you're talking about, but if you mean like intraday analysis, then like let me know what pair first, and if it's like if it's a pair that is appealing, then yeah. But if you mean like how to do intraday analysis, then we have that in the educational webinar vault. GBPCHF, yeah, we can do that. I'll do a webinar on that. At least you have GP as a primary and a safe haven currency, like the Swiss franc is a secondary, so it might have some nice intraday structure to play with. Silver too. Silver's a good reminder as well. Let me write these down quick. To do like during the day, you know what I mean? Silver analysis you guys want. Silver, XAG, USD, and GBP CHF, AUD USD, and oil. So I'll do intraday analysis, like our higher time frame down to intraday analysis on these four pairs through this week and next week. While we also do like our sessions and everything else. You know what I mean? I'll just wrote that down. Miss that orange juice? Fuck, man. Fresh water. Should we start jumping on top of fresh water analysis? It's gonna be a commodity. It is a commodity already. But you get what I'm saying. It's going to be a big market. Fresh water. Create a playlist on YouTube of what? Oh, what time is it now? 5:10 a.m. Eastern. So this has been going for almost 3-4 hours now. GJ played out nice. Gold played out nice. We got to discuss some higher time frame intraday analysis to lower time frame analysis. We didn't have any economic data reports to look out for, digest, or analyze, but we did analyze some of the reactive headlines and short-term GBP optimism with Bank of England Bailey when he was speaking like an hour ago. We got to analyze market structure, price action, investor behavior throughout the night, do some analysis across pairs, trade ideas. Oh, for all the educational webinars? Okay, okay, on YouTube. That's a good idea. Handbook. That's a good idea to note down. Then I could just send out the link for the playlist. It's the same as gold. And I just look at gold and silver and the dollar amount usually in the cents and dollar amount movements because it's like a real precious metal. Group up GJ and gold. Good ideas, good ideas. But anyways, I'm gonna end this stream now. It's been running for quite a long time now. Almost coming up to like we started it like almost 1:20. It's coming up to almost like 3.5-4 hours now. I'm getting pretty sleepy myself. All right. Thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate the support. I appreciate you guys coming out. Thank you, private chat. Thank you, YouTube chat, refugees in the audience. If you guys want these streams to be more consistent, you guys want them more often, you guys can do a favor for me is just like and subscribe and share these streams around on your social media. It's free to do, and word of mouth is the best way to market or gain exposure for anything. So yeah. But other than that, everybody take care. I'll see you guys on Thursday, 1:30 a.m. Eastern start time. All right? And we'll be back. And if you guys want to reflect, review this webinar, you can always rewatch it, see the analysis that was called, how we got to those trade ideas, and then how we got to the execution points and everything else. You can always rewatch these webinars.